This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where each week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. Well, we have a movie and show review this week.
Yeah.
We're your hosts,
Cheryl.
And Jay.
Also, it is our 100th episode.
Yay!
Yeah. With no breaks, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, we done went 100 straight.
Yeah.
And we is not breaking that streak.
All the way through.
Despite what vacations may do.
Yes.
We'll get to that at the end of the episode. But anyway, I'm on deck for trivia. Are you ready?
Yes.
So, Allison Williams, who is the lead of M3GAN and M3GAN 2.0, was offered a role in a different type of movie, not a horror movie. It is a superhero movie. It is a Marvel movie. Can you guess what the lead? And she was going to be the lead in this particular movie. Can you guess what movie it is? If you guess the role, then you will guess the movie. So guess either or.
X-Men.
Nope, but you're in the right realm of...
It's not that many Okay.
You're in the realm of teen.
New Mutants?
Nope. Older.
Older than the X-Men.
Older than New Mutants.
Fantastic Four?
Yep.
She was going to be Sue Storm.
Correct.
And what? The one with Michael B. Jordan?
The 2015 one.
That would've fit.
She was going to she was Josh Tranks. I'm not who that is. Sure who
He's
that
the director.
Is. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
First choice. But the studio wanted to go with Kate Mara instead. Which is interesting that...
It came out like right after the House of Cards.
Oh.
Yeah, so
okay,
Kate Mara was
she
like
might have
making
been more of a name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, had no idea. She could have done it. I feel like.
Yeah.
She could have been Susan.
All the roles in that movie are inconsequential.
True.
Yeah, so.
The other trivia that I was going to use that I did not know about her, but now that I know it, I'm like, duh. Her dad is Brian Williams, the newscaster.
Interesting.
Had no idea. But now that I see it, now that I know it, I see it. She looks like Brian Williams with a wig on.
Interesting.
Yeah, she got the same like bone structure or something. I was like, oh, that's your dad?
Yeah.
I never knew she's somewhat of a Nepo baby.
I don't know how much Brian Wilson...
Yeah, I don't know how much Brian Williams got pulled in Hollywood, but it's funny because I used to watch Brian Williams like faithfully, like 6:30 nightly news because like I had a cable, but... Yeah, then he got fired for doing something stupid.
I think he lied or something.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, Brian, don't be a liar.
Yeah.
Anywho, yes. So she is, I didn't know she was a Nepo, somewhat of a Nepo baby.
Yeah, good for her.
All right, so that is it for our trivia. Let's get into our 100th episode. Welcome to the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, your favorite podcast for movie and TV show news, trailers, and vaguely nerdy topics.
Each week, we dive into the latest film release, talk about the plot, characters, our favorite scenes, and give our rating out of 5 Nicole Kidmans.
Whether you're a casual moviegoer or a hardcore cinephile, we've got something for you. Reviews, news, hot takes, and a few surprises along the way.
So grab your popcorn, open your favorite podcast app or YouTube, and let's roll the reel on this week's latest episode of the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast.
So this week was a little light on news, but we have a show review and a movie review.
Yes.
So trust me, we're going to be here for just a little bit. But yeah, we have an update on a movie franchise that everybody's having a roller coaster ride about. Couple new trailers in the trailer park, and then a little bites of a BUNCHA-CRUNCH. So let's start off at the top. We got some Bond news. So the most recent news that came out about James Bond was the fact that the Broccoli's gave it up, sold all their rights away, cashed a big fat check, and gave it all over to Amazon. And everybody was very distraught because Amazon about to turn this into like the most piecemeal franchise you could ever have. Video games, animated shows, animated spinoffs.
They're already talking to animated the video games.
Multiverses of Bonds.
Video games already got his trailer out.
We're not very happy about it, us as movie people. But they did get their new movies coming out. Of course, they're not going to stop making movies. And Denis Villeneuve is directing. So if you've not heard of him before, then you've never listened to this podcast, welcome.
Yeah.
But he is the director most recently of Dune Part 1 and Part 2. Yeah. And we still have Dune. He's going to do Dune Messiah. So big name director, y'all. That's like a big deal. So we went on from a low to being like, oh my God, like Amazon's going to destroy this, to yay, Denis Villeneuve. Yeah. And then we going back on a downward spiral because the wish list for who they want to play Bond is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah. Jacob
Jacob Elordi.
There you go. I don't know who he is. So
he's going to be in the Frankenstein movie. And
he's from something else.
He was in the movie with Rosamund Pike. Yeah, I think he did play Elvis.
Yeah, okay, he was Elvis.
He was in that movie with Rosamund Pike about the scammer.
Tom Holland, who we all know, and I like Tom Holland, but as James Bond, absolutely not. No, thank you. And then Harris Dickinson. So it's funny because the tweets were like Amazon's wish list, and I was like, Amazon wish list. Okay, boom, boom. Anywho, terrible. So we kind of had like a low, a high, then a low.
It makes sense why they are choosing this. One, he has to be British. That's just a James Bond thing.
One of these is like Australian.
Two, because we know Amazon is going to piecemeal this to crap, and they've already kind of like indicated it in the game. Well, I mean, it's revealed in the game trailer. Yeah. They want a very young James Bond.
It's like 12.
Yeah. They're going to go for like a mid-20s Bond.
Oh, my God.
They're deviating away from like grown man Bond.
You know the reason why I don't think...
these are grown men, but still.
Right. You know why I don't think Tom Holland is going to do it? Is because then they're going to talk him out of it because she got some common sense, for one. Mm-hmm. For two, I don't know if he wants to be wrapped up in another big franchise. Because he's already Spider-Man. Like, he'll be Spider-Man and James Bond. That's kind of ridiculous.
But Denis Villeneuve being the director sweetens the pie. So then you get to say you had work with Denis Villeneuve.
He's going to do something else. He's not, unless...
I mean, but you don't know if he's going to pick you.
Okay.
And I mean, and Tom Holland will be working with Denis Villeneuve coming right off of a Christopher Nolan movie as well. So
no, please, Tom.
From a business perspective, it makes sense.
We like you, Tom,
but we don't want it.
We don't want you as James Bond. There was also somebody threw out the name of Timothy Chalamet playing James Bond. Please. I'd rather Jacob, I don't know last name, do it.
I think people are going back to, originally there were talks for that, where there was rumors that it was going to be either Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yep.
I also heard Theo James was in talks. And when those came out a while ago, people were like, no, we don't want those. But now that they've seen what the Amazon's wish list picks are, everybody's like, actually, go back.
Please. Okay, see, I was one of the ones that was like, meh, on Aaron Taylor Johnson. But
me too.
If these are the options,
yes,
I will start a
absolutely
change
go back.
or petition to get Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Absolutely go
Theo
back to
James?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Absolutely.
Theo James could pull it off.
They both have the look.
People were like him on The Gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they probably too old though, right? Because they trying to cast like an 18-year-old looking guy.
I think they're both younger than Daniel Craig.
Yeah, but they supposed to be going in. It's just, this is not good.
No, it's not. I don't think anybody. Well, it depends.
No.
I think people who are fans of James Bond anyway are older. I don't know if James Bond even. The James Bond franchise even has young fans.
Not new ones.
And I don't think any of the existing James Bond fans care to see.
No. None of these three.
James Bond.
Yeah, none of these three. None of these. I feel like they would have been warmer to like an Aaron Taylor, because Aaron Taylor Johnson's in like Nosferatu, and we don't talk about Craven, but he's been in like other movies.
Yeah.
So he's more. I don't like this.
A good James Bond is typically, and it could just be because it's what we've always seen, but a good James Bond to me is always older, has a drinking problem, a little darkness,
horrible with women,
great at his job, but kind of also terrible at it.
Yeah, a lot of personal issues, obviously.
Yeah, and that doesn't work for somebody who's super young. And I also am not interested in seeing a freshman year version of James Bond.
I don't want to see Spider-Man.
James Bond has been around way too long. Yeah. For me to be interested in seeing how James Bond became James Bond. I don't care.
We don't.
No. I don't need to see him start from the ground.
We got enough of a backstory when Daniel Craig, and that was just enough. Like, they did just enough.
But that's what they're doing with the new James Bond video game that's coming out.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be, he's depicted as a young and reckless character in the 007 video game that they've got coming out, that they've already put a trailer out. It's called 007 First Light. So he's supposed to be like a young baby-faced James Bond who's young and brash, and it's like the Han Solo of the James Bonds.
Brash can.
Yeah, nobody wants it.
Some other tidbits about this. So other directors that were on the list were Edward Berger, who I'm not familiar with, Edgar Wright, who I am slightly familiar with, Paul King, who I think most recently did Wonka, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And then Jonathan Nolan, who, if that doesn't sound familiar, is Christopher Nolan's brother. Yeah.
Okay.
Who was probably up because he wrote Fallout, or at least I don't know if he did the whole series of Fallout or just some episodes. So they said no to all of them. Denis got the job. This is actually not coming out till 2028. So we got time to bully Amazon to not pick any of these people. So if we start now, By the time they casting, they will change their mind.
Just looking through the Daniel Craig filmography, his run of James Bond.
Yes.
Most of them have had different directors each film. I think Sam Mendes is the only one who did like 2 in a row.
I did see that. I did see that Sam is the only one that's done 2 in a row because Denis Villeneuve's deal is only for 1. So I guess they probably won't. I mean, the issue is not going to be his directing. The issue is going to be who they pick.
Yeah.
And they don't have a writer either.
Yeah.
Who they picked to write it.
Right.
So sure, he probably should be wise to only sign up for 1 because he be like, y'all ain't about to kill my career for this.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So, especially since the Deadline editor who broke the story said that Denis Villeneuve, his contract on the film is he doesn't have final cut, so he's not going to have final say on the final cut of the film that's coming out. He also doesn't.
That's why Christopher Nolan was like, no.
He also doesn't have first pick on casting. So
that's so interesting.
He's going to be there to direct. He's going to be there to direct whatever Amazon decides to put together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the check got to be fat for him to deal with all of that after coming off of Dune and Dune 2 and Dune Messiah.
Yeah. So
like he's like one of those directors that everybody's like, ooh, Denis, I gotta go watch this. So
also nobody should hold their breath. It's not coming out anytime soon. He still has Doom Messiah coming out, and then after that he still has this Cleopatra film in the work.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and put that one in the bin too.
He has a science fiction film coming out called Rendezvous with Rama. Sure. He also has a movie called Nuclear War: A Scenario coming out, which is supposed to be like his Megalopolis, which is supposed to be like a scenario film.
It does scale well, so I ain't
he has
worried
something
about that.
else coming out too. He has a lot of stuff in the lineup.
Oh, you know Amazon paid him enough to push all that back, right?
I mean, maybe.
They were probably like, Cleo, what? No, you don't need that.
So
you don't put that in the bin.
We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. But that's it for our news this week. That was kind of like, yay. Oh, yay. So now let's get into the
Trailer Park. Okay, so first trailer we have for this week is Eden. This comes out August 22nd. This is a survival thriller that is going to star Sydney Sweeney, Ana de Armas, Jude Law, and Vanessa Kirby. This was announced years ago. I'm surprised it took them this long to put a trailer out for it.
Yeah, they was probably trying to find somewhere to put it.
I was kind of like, forgot about this.
Yeah, it was announced a while ago.
So this is going to be a survival thriller that follows a couple living in isolation on an island until 2 groups arrive and a power struggle ensues.
What did you call it before we started recording?
It's the adult version of Lord of the Flies.
It is. It's giving Lord of the Flies. It's giving scandal, violence, maybe a little cult vibes. I got a little cult vibes from the trailer. But the acting looks good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what drew me in was the acting. I feel like I know the ending already.
Everybody here can act. What do you think the ending is? Everybody
dies. And one person lives and gets off the island.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to be like steeped in like paranoia and adultery.
Yes.
On an island.
And violence.
Yeah, because they're couples. The other 2 groups are other couples.
Correct.
That have arrived.
And one, I think Ana de Armas seems like she plays somebody that's super rich.
Yeah.
And Sydney Sweeney seems like she plays somebody who's not super rich. So,
I think Jude Law and Vanessa Kirby are the ones who are already living on the island.
Correct. And they seem like they about to have a tiff. So somebody's killing everybody and one person makes it off and keeps all the secrets.
Yeah.
That's the ending.
It looks like it is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
The trailer didn't really give us that much detail other than the fact that there is going to be paranoia and murder.
Yes. And some adultery. Yeah.
Yes. In the woods.
Secluded location.
Right.
But this is one of those movies where you don't really want that.
Right.
Like you don't want everything laid out. It doesn't come out to the summer. And August is usually that month where they kind of put movies where they don't know where to put a movie. Because it's kind of like, well, we don't want to get the Labor Day rush and we can't get into the summer rush. So I don't know. I hope if this comes out the same weekend as Roses, though, never mind. Because I kind of want to see it, but I don't know if it's worth like going to the theaters.
Kind of looks like that Triangle Sadness movie that came out. That was also about those rich people who got shipwrecked on an island.
Oh, okay.
It was like the rich and poor both got shipwrecked on an
island.
I know what you mean. Yacht.
Yeah, but I like Jude Law.
Oh, yeah, Jude Law's amazing.
I like crazy Jude Law too. Like when he played like somebody who's got issues. Right up my alley.
Yes.
So we'll see. And Vanessa Kirby. You can't see enough of.
Next up on the Trailer Park is for The Strangers Chapter 2. This comes out to theaters surprisingly,
they did both at the same time. They got to put them out.
It's three. It's three. It's a three-parter. Yeah. The first one was an epic disaster.
Yeah, nobody liked it.
Terrible film.
Nobody liked it.
So for some reason, they didn't pivot and just go to streaming for this one. They're going to still put this one in theaters.
I guess they got to get some money back.
So this comes out September 26th. The Strangers Chapter 2 is going to star Madeleine Pêche. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. She's returning. She was the final girl from the last one.
Yeah, it looks like it's a continuation from the first one.
Yeah, so the original Strangers was with Liv Tyler and her husband, and it ended where they were killed.
Right. I remember
or
that.
seemingly stabbed to death by the strangers. Strangers drove off into the distance, were never heard of again.
Right.
This one ended the exact same way, except they're doing a follow-up to it. So it looks like in this movie, she links up with, I'm not sure if they are survivors, other survivors or other victims.
It's hard to tell because it don't seem like it's safe for her regardless.
Yeah. So let me go through the synopsis. So it says, after learning that one of their victims, Maya, is still alive, the three masked maniacs return to finish the job.
Okay.
With nowhere to run and no one to trust, Maya soon finds herself in a brutal fight for survival against psychopaths who are more than willing to kill anyone who stands in their way. But it looks like she's surrounded by a new group of weirdos.
Yeah.
They don't seem normal.
It's almost as if the weirdos want to kill the killers.
Yeah, it seems like the weirdos want to kill the killers, but it also seems the weirdos could also be interested in killing her.
True.
Or using her as bait or something.
The plot don't seem good.
The plot doesn't seem good. The plot of the first one doesn't seem good. Neither does the acting.
I was going to... right. And I don't... What's the third one going to be about then? Or is it like a... Is she going to live again?
I'm going to assume she lives because there's a chapter 3 and they were all filmed together. So. Okay,
well... If you like the first one, let us know.
I can't imagine anybody who liked the first one.
We're not watching this one, but I'm curious to see if people like this one more.
I've seen the first one at home. It was bad. It was really bad.
Oh, okay.
It was terrible.
Wait, the first one with Liv Tyler or the first one of this one?
The first one of this one.
Okay.
It was bad. So, Strangers, Chapter 2, the bad one, comes out September 26th.
The worser one?
The worser one. There's been like, this is the fourth
but you
one.
know, okay.
This is like the fourth one.
The more worse one. Yeah.
Sure.
Go. Yeah.
The next stop on the trailer park is for Weapons. This is the second trailer. This is coming out August 28th. This is going to star Julia Garner, our new Silver Surfer, Josh Brolin, our Thanos, Benedict Wong, our Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah,
Brian
right.
Tyree Henry, one of our Eternals.
Right, I'm trying to think of anybody else.
Auden Ehrenreich, Han Solo, and an Ironheart.
Wow.
And which I won't spoil for anybody who has not seen Ironheart who he is.
Yeah.
So just watch out for our Ironheart
mini review
later on.
Right.
So what is this going to be about? Something strange has happened where every child in the middle of the night got up and walked out of their house, running like some type of anime character out into the darkness.
It don't look
but it looks like it is also going to affect the adults as well.
It is not just kids.
Yeah.
The first trailer gave it like all the kids are getting called by somebody and they all left and nobody knows where they went. And this one, it shows the adults getting it.
Yeah, so we get a trailer of a lot of the adults this time, and it looks like it's some type of brainwashing or mind control.
Definitely
or
mind control.
Possession or curse is taking them over and causing them to kill themselves or at least brutally injure themselves.
Our Sorcerer Supreme don't look good.
Benedict Wong is his scenes are strange because it looks like he's being affected by whatever's going on.
Correct.
He's running around wide-eyed and bloody.
Something?
But it looks like he's looking for somebody.
Like he looks under a car.
Or chasing somebody. There's a scenes of him running through the street, looking under a car at an auto shop. There's also a scene of him running through a grocery store.
Yes, like a convenience store or something. But he looks terrible.
Yeah.
And he almost looks like his face is swollen and his eyes is bulging out of his head.
It also doesn't look like it affects every kid. It looks like there's a scene where a kid's parents are possessed and he's like hiding out in his room while they're trying to get in the room to get to him.
Yeah, and apparently it's been said that whatever we think this movie is about is not what it's actually about.
No.
There's no hints of why it's called Weapons.
They've teased that it's within the Barbarian universe.
You're right.
And that one wasn't really...
Let's see, so the Barbarian was the thing in the basement, obviously.
No,
right?
The Barbarian was Josh Long.
Oh. I mean, he was.
And the rapist guy that was keeping people in the basement. The Barbarian was not Mama.
So...
she was a victim of circumstance. She didn't ask to be made.
Okay. She looked...
And she saved her at the end, so...
She looked terrible.
She wasn't all the way terrible.
She looked like a barbarian.
Yeah.
So I was trying to I was like, what could be the weapon? But it's probably the bell. There's a scene in the trailer where somebody is dinging a bell That's probably the weapon.
A lot of people have theorized it's witchcraft. I think the director
It's
might have
feeling
like
like
teased something witchcrafty.
It's giving witchcraft.
I'm kind with that.
Yeah, I'm scared.
So it looks like it's going to be scary. It looks like it's going to be spooky. The director and people behind it have said that it's going to be very unsettling, whatever it is. So, and it looks like it's going to be gory. There's a lot of scenes of like people like stabbing themselves with things or bleeding profusely.
This is not for the weak stomach.
No. So long legs-ish, which should be fun.
Yeah. And not sleepless nights ahead.
Next stop on the trailer park is a fun one. This is for Fantastic Four, First Steps. This comes out July 24th, 2024 during Comic-Con, which we will be. 2025 during Comic-Con, which we will be.
Yeah, this gives more of... What do we get more of?
Galactus.
Okay. We get more Galactus. We get more of them fighting. That's what I was looking for.
Sure,
We get more action sequence. And not a lot, though. Yeah. I mean, like... couple nanoseconds extra.
They're no longer hiding Pedro Pascal's stretchy powers.
We get a little more stretching. Mm-hmm. We get Silver Surfer doing a little more talking. Mm-hmm. And we get more Galactus. But what we don't get is Galactus' voice. They gonna hold out till the movie come out. Which at this point I'm kind of like, fine, we're almost there. Yeah. But I really would have liked a little sneak peek. Yeah. But it looks good.
So it looks like they accidentally run into Galactus during one of their space exploits, which is comic accurate.
Okay.
And that's how the Galactus discovers that Earth exists because they run into him and he follows them home.
Okay. And the Silver Surfer shows up and say, he coming to get y'all. Sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. But she looks good. I like her voice, the way she seems like her voice is amplified or something.
Yeah, they usually give Silver Surfer a weird voice.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That looks good. Galactus looks huge. Looks like there's gonna be Johnny is gonna be Johnny. So he's going to be giving us the comedy the whole time. Ben has a beard?
It's strange.
It's from the comics, apparently.
It's an issue of the comics where he has a beard.
Okay. Somehow Rock gets a beard. Yeah. Which is, hopefully they explain. I don't know. And then we get, we don't see any of Franklin in this one, though, but we know Franklin exists. Do we? No, I don't think we get
There's a scene where she's like holding him.
Oh, you're right.
But it's not like a direct shot at him.
She's holding Franklin through, looks like a mob of people.
There's a screenshot that isn't part of the trailer. I think it was one of the Entertainment Weekly photos or something. But it looks like there's a scene where Galactus is looking through the window. And it's only Herbie watching the baby.
Oh, right.
So it looks like Galactus shows up while they're out.
Okay.
And they have Herbie watch the baby while they're out, which
remember that was from the very first clip where we got to see Galactus' eyeballs.
Yeah, but we didn't see Franklin. They digitally erased the baby out of the shot in the first
slide dogs.
And in this one, it looks like Herbie and Franklin are holding hands while Galactus is looking in the window.
Okay. I'm sure there's 10 more things edited out.
We also haven't got a voice for Herbie. And we don't know who's playing.
No, Herbie. Oh, something that did happen, though. Mm-hmm. The runtime, I guess, has gone from 2:15 to 1:55. And somebody noticed, because they was being stealthy, that John Malkovich is not on the cast list. So there's suspicion that his scenes got cut from the movie. Suspicious.
I guess.
They
also had that test screening.
I'm sure he got paid.
They also had that rumored test screening that was terrible. So.
Yeah, that some people said that actually wasn't true. That somebody made it up because I don't know. You can never tell with these rumors. So we'll see when we find the movie. Obviously,
that's fine. If his plot, it looks like this movie has a lot going on.
Yes.
Outside of just Galactus.
Correct.
So outside of John Malkovich, it looks like there's also some type of sewer creature that they have to battle too, which is probably
because
just
there's another
sequence.
person, Paul, whose name I'm forgetting, who also had. No, Paul.
Oh, yes.
King.
Yes.
Yeah, him. Who hasn't shown up in anything either. So we don't know if he's Herbie. We don't know who's Herbie or who he is. So there's people missing out of this trailer, which you know what?
Paul Walter Hauser.
Yes.
That's who he is, yeah.
I like surprises.
Also, Natasha Lyonne is in this too, and we don't know who she's playing either. People speculated she was playing Herbie.
Oh, or the Thing's girlfriend, maybe?
She could be the Thing's girlfriend because she was a redhead. Penny or Peggy, whatever her name was, who was Kerry Washington.
So there's at least 2 or 3 people on this cast that have been mentioned that are not in any of these trailers. Yeah. So, and I'm actually thankful for that. They can save something for this movie.
I'm sorry, Matthew Wood is playing Herbie.
Oh.
He's a famous voice actor. He's done a lot of voice work.
So 3 people. Yeah. 3 or 2 or 3, depending on what happened to John's role, that we ain't seen. Yeah. I'm good with that.
Still excited about it.
Very much so.
I'm still mysterious. The ship in the movie is not the same ship that arrived in the Thunderbolts. Also, it seems that they put up a shot of a teleportation device.
Okay.
So wondering what happens to the rest of do they just evacuate the planet?
They gonna leave all the people behind? That's their wrong. That's kind of wrong.
I mean, what else can they do?
You know, there's a shot that they always play in all the trailers where they ask Reed, like, "Are you gonna save us?" And he turned around like, "I don't know." And it looked like he actually don't know.
Yeah,
He's like, kind of like, "Oh, I might have to leave y'all behind with my kid and my wife.
It may have a bad ending.
Goodbye."
So.
And Kevin Feige said that this leads directly into Avengers Doomsday. So it's gonna be a cliffhanger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're all gonna be biting at the bit to try to figure out what's gonna happen next. So, but I'm excited.
That is the last stop at the trailer park. Let's dive into this BUNCHA-CRUNCH.
All right, we got some more casting news for the live action Street Fighter movie, and 2 out of 3 of them suck. So let's get on with it. Andrew Schultz will play Dan Hibiki.
Mm-hmm.
50 Cent will play Balrog. Mm-hmm. And Kalina Lang, I think Leong will play Chong-Li.
Yes.
Now, I know Kalina, we watched her in The Presence.
Yes.
Which we reviewed on this podcast. Mm-hmm. She was good. She was fine in Presence. I liked her.
The issue with Presence is it wasn't scary. Not the acting.
It wasn't necessarily it was the genre of film that they tried to put that movie in.
Yeah.
50 Cent can't stand.
No.
And Andrew Salter looked him up. Don't like him either.
I think which I found interesting.
Yes.
Even people who are like fans of Andrew Schultz and 50 Cent and video game movies in general, no matter what the quality is, like Minecraft or Mario, we're not happy about these castings.
So Andrew is a comedian. He's not like an actor.
He's a podcaster.
And when I say comedian, I'm not talking like an Eddie Murphy. Who can do stand up and movies?
No.
And when 50 Cent, trash regardless, actor, rapper, whatever he does, I don't want no part of it. My interest in this movie went from like okay to no.
I think everybody's interest in this movie kind of died. So they did fine with Andrew Koji.
Sure, the initial cast was fine.
Noah Centineo because they're actual actors,
and Jason Momoa
because they are actual actors who have a career of action film and acting.
Right.
And then everybody after that, like the WWE, I mean, WWE performers are actors to a certain degree.
Yeah.
They're stage actors.
We got John Cena.
Sure.
But he does more acting now than, whatever he's doing. But he's done more acting now, so we'll call him an actor.
Right. Everybody else after that hasn't been an actor. It's just been some type of
side hustle,
celebrity personality.
Right.
And that's not what people go to the movies to see. Because those people cannot act. They're there to do like fun cameos.
Sure.
But everybody's still wondering, like, where are the rest of the actors?
We were talking about Mortal Kombat and how Mortal Kombat has actual actors.
Yeah,
the issue with Mortal Kombat wasn't the acting.
It's the lack of the Mortal
It wasn't
Kombat.
No mortal or combating. And I feel like they fixed that
they
in the
didn't
next
even get to the tournament. That was the issue. Jeez. Like, why title it this?
Called it the Mortal Kombat.
Mortal pre-combat.
The early first class
right.
or something. Like
first step.
The setup. the prequel.
Yeah.
Anything. So, but they had actors in that movie. So the acting wasn't our issue. But you gonna give me a movie. Video game adaptations are already hard enough to do.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna complicate it by casting a bunch of non-actors?
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
No, I mean, the movie needs...
Nope. Y'all not gonna Borderlands me again. I don't think so.
This is an action movie, so we want to see acting, and karate.
Right.
But no, we're not here to see
Street Fighter don't even have
I don't go to the movie to see media personalities. I stay on social media for that.
Right, as it is. So you already in the hole. It's a video game adaptation, so you are further in the hole. And then you just don't cast people who act.
Yeah. My big hope is that I think what they're trying to do is just attract the video game bros. And that's fine, but the video game bros aren't.
They don't go to the movies?
They do. They go see Minecraft. Fine. They do. I think that this casting is a result of movie studios continuing to make video game movies and wanting to capture the event attitude that was in the Minecraft. They want to capture the crowd that's going to throw popcorn and hoopla and do backflips down the stairwell. They want that though because that movie made so much money.
I'm trying to see who is directing this hot mess. It's from Legendary. Plot details are under wraps. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Kyoto Sakura is directing this movie. Oh, I remember this. So Street Fighter was going to be directed by the guys who did Talk to Me. And they it didn't work out. Do you know how much different that movie would have been?
I mean, what direction were they going to take it in?
I don't know, but it would have horror. I would have watched that.
I don't think that would have worked.
I would have watched a horror Street Fighter.
I think that would have been foolish to try to make a horror version of Street Fighter because that's not what people want.
Or maybe this just would have been them trying to do a different genre. Either way, I bet you this casting wouldn't have been the same. I bet you that.
No. Well, you know, the guys who do Talk to Me, they cast actors but they usually cast unknown people.
Okay, fair enough. It says that
no names.
There was scheduling issues and they wanted to focus on Bring Her Back. And that's why they didn't do Street Fighter.
Interesting.
I feel like that was a good choice. I feel like that was a good choice.
I hope my hope with this movie is that most of the celebrity personalities that they've casted in roles in this movie are just going to be like cameo appearances, 30 seconds just to introduce the character. Because people just want to see
the fighting,
the characters from the game. They just want to see the roster in live action. Okay. So maybe they'll just be like 30, like in the Pokemon movie when we had. They just wanted to knock out all the different Pokemon, get them in like different 30-second battle sequences, so people can be like, "Oh, look, Blastoise."
Right.
Or Geode or Charizard. Then you don't see it for the rest of the movie.
I got zero hopes for this.
So I hope that's the plan for this movie.
Sure.
I'm not sure if we're gonna go see this. It depends on what the agenda is. Nope. I mean, we saw Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, because they had no. I'm calling it.
It depends.
Don't make me eat my words. All right. Next bit of news is no surprise. There's a sequel to Lilo and Stitch remake in the works. That movie's on this track it's like number 2 behind Minecraft in terms of box office gross. They're both in the $900 million realm.
Yeah, it's like $950 million right now.
No brainer.
Yeah.
I don't think people like the second Lilo and Stitch though, like the
animated movie
as much.
That's good because they said that the sequel is going to be completely original and they're not going to base it off of any of the animated material.
Okay, good.
And I think the reason is because people were so upset about the changes that they were like, great, now we're going to make an entirely different movie.
Oh, so you got nothing to complain about.
It.
Okay, good. We like Lilo and Stitch. If you've not listened or watched our review, please do, because we thought it was a cute little movie.
So they killed the argument. So now you guys have nothing to compare it to.
Literally nothing to complain about.
Because it's going to be original.
But then they'll be like, that's another sequel to a sequel, and you're just like, shut up.
So it's going to be like
make $2 billion.
It's going to be like Mufasa, basically.
Yes, it's going to be like
they couldn't compare Mufasa to the original Lion King because it was based on original material.
It was original story.
And it was a successful movie.
$700 million. Shout out to Barry Jenkins.
So,
speaking of Mufasa, though.
And we're getting another Lion King live action.
We better. Where is Simba's Pride at? We need to go ahead and green light that. I will start another change.org petition for that when I do James Bond.
They also said that they're doing a Ratatouille 2 as well.
This feels a little late for that.
It does, but people liked Ratatouille.
Don't do a live action though.
No, they're doing an animated sequel. This is part of their lineup with the Toy Story 5 and the Ratatouille and the Zootopia 2, and they're talking about maybe Elemental 2 is in talks.
I will watch Elemental
because
2.
That ended up being successful in the long run after not having a great opening.
Yeah, I don't think they thought that Elio might take an Elemental path, and I don't think it will.
It would if so many blockbusters weren't coming out.
Tis the season for blockbusters.
They are
fighting for screens.
They are for children as well. Each was in the Jurassic Park, Superman, and Fantastic Four. The kids want to see those too.
You forgot the Smurfs.
Sure.
They might want to start advertising that.
Maybe. I don't know if people are happy about the Smurfs. They're not happy about that single. That Smurf single.
You want to talk about the techno Rihanna beat that repeats?
Because it's not an actual song.
You don't like it?
Kids like lyrics. Kids like lyrics that they can repeat.
That's what it sounds like. She just said to say, like Rihanna.
You know what the song sounds like?
And got you Pharrell to write you a happy.
You know what the Smurf song sounds like?
Friend of mine.
It sounds like This Is What You Came For.
Oh yeah.
And kids aren't singing that.
It's a more technoed version of that. But cut out half of that song and loop it, and that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It does sound like that. No shade to Rihanna. We love Rihanna.
Yeah.
But this, no. If you gonna have Rihanna, I feel like there was an opportunity to give you a happy, or what's the Justin Timberlake song? The Dance, Dance, Dance. Stop
that was it. Just Dance.
Oh, that's the name of the song.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Clearly,
the Trolls movie.
Clearly, I've not seen Trolls.
Yeah.
That or whatever. Let It Go, Frozen. What I feel like Rihanna is. Like she Rihanna, y'all could have had one of those. But
is Smurfs a musical though? Was the original Smurfs a musical? Because I know Trolls was.
But you could have had was Trolls? Oh,
Trolls was Justin Timberlake.
What is Happy from? Happy's not from a musical. It's from Despicable Me. So there you go.
No, yeah,
you could have had a hit from a. Anyway, they've botched this because I ain't seen not a single promo for Smurfs.
No, after they dropped that single and it got negative reception, they kind of just stopped talking about it.
She put out some lip gloss and
put
some
out
Pumas.
popcorn bucket or something.
Listen,
get the conversation
She need
going.
the Pumas. She needs some baby Pumas and some baby lip gloss.
Or some Crocs. People love Crocs.
Get it pop. She gotta put the Pumas out. She ran.
Okay.
She can't. Do different things.
So that is all the movie news, Trailer Park, and BUNCHA-CRUNCH for this week. We're going to take a short break and get into, or do we need to take a break, or should we just dive right into our
rolling? Let's see me rolling.
All right. Let's talk about Ironheart.
So Ironheart hold on, let me get my wiki page up. Ironheart just released this past Tuesday. So they gave us all 3 episodes. There's only 6 episodes. But they gave us the first 3. Forewarning, if you have not seen these and you was going to binge them at 9 o'clock at night, them suckers is about an hour each. When I turned on the Disney Plus, I'm setting up. I got my popcorn. I've had dinner. I'm like, okay, let's get ready. And then I opened up the app. I was like, what? Wait a second. It's like 45 minutes, 52 minutes, and like 54 minutes. And I was like, I'm be up. That's my bedtime.
I didn't look at the runtime. I just assumed it was going to be 30 minutes because most of the Marvel shows that have come out on Disney Plus recently have been like 30 minutes.
I was up to like 11.
So when they were like, oh, it's going to premiere at 9, I was like, great. So I should be done by 10:30.
No, man.
Midnight. I started up Disney Plus. I was like, 55 minutes at 9 o'clock.
I was excited that the show episodes were longer, but I was like, y'all should have released this at midnight. Okay, so the rest of us can watch this.
Yeah.
But I also...
Or
7 or 8. But I also like that they released it later because it was like a watch party thing, right? Because everybody was on social media.
Could have had a watch party at 7.
You're not wrong.
I would have been ready at 7.
You not wrong. I wonder if they did it at 9 Eastern so that the West Coast people would like be home.
Who cares? That makes it earlier for the people on the West Coast.
Listen.
So why did the East have to suffer?
Heads up. These is not 30-minute episodes. So if you're going to binge, you park it. Okay? Yeah. But yes, it came out June 24th. And then next Tuesday, we will get the second set of 3. So it'll finish out the rest of the series. But give us your initial thoughts for the first 3 episodes.
My initial thoughts for the first 3 episodes are my initial thoughts for a typical Marvel show, which is it's setup. It's good setup. Okay,
it is good setup. You're right.
I'm glad that they've gotten the groundwork out of the way in this first 3 episodes.
And we were able
We've introduced all the characters. We got all the pieces on the board.
Sure did.
Now I'm ready to see what the rest of these episodes, what they're going to do with all of them.
And I like the way they cut it off. So the first 3 are definitely like its own story, but the way that the 3rd episode ends, it ends on a cliffhanger-ish of you're kind of like, well, crap, like what is about to happen next.
Right.
So I like the way that the split was a good split. It wasn't like 2 episodes. Like if they did the first 2, I would have been like, just to give us the 3rd one right now. So the editing and the pacing of all 3 episodes was pretty good, and it did a nice setup for the next 3 episodes.
Yeah, I think the acting is good. I really like the characters.
Yes. So we have Dominique Thorne plays Riri. If you didn't know that, she was introduced in Wakanda Forever. If you didn't watch that, we have Lyric Ross, who plays Natalie Washington, who is Riri's best friend, but she is also Natalie, which stands for excuse me. Oh, I had it. Oh, Neuro Autonomous Technical Assistant and Laboratory Intelligence Entity. Ooh. So she's like a Friday. Did Jarvis have a?
Yes.
Jarvis. Okay, Jarvis had.
They all have one.
So she's like a Friday. She's like a Jarvis, where she's basically artificial intelligence with a name, quote unquote, that stands for something really long and technical. Yeah. We have Manny Montoya, who plays John, who is a part of, what's his name? Red Hood's crew.
The crew. Mm-hmm.
We also have Matthew Elam, who plays Xavier, which is her Riri's boo. Sort of boo.
Love interest. Her Pepper Potts.
Something like that. And then who else do we have that's notable? Cree Summer is in this, who plays a friend of Riri's mom, although she's not in this a whole bunch. At least not yet.
It looks like she's going to be in some of the upcoming episodes.
Okay, yep. So she's not in it a whole bunch yet. We have Shia Cooley, who plays Slug, who is a hacker, who is also
Shea Coulee.
Is Shay?
Of Drag Race fame.
I'm thinking of Shea Moisture. I should have thought of Shea Moisture. Yeah. I said Shea. Shea Moisture.
That's okay.
Anywho, This hacker, however, Slug mentions that she is on one of like Madripoor's
Most Wanted. Yeah.
She just kind of says like, no. We're like, Madripoor, man.
Yeah. Like the worst place in the MCU.
What you been cooking up? I
Right.
love how they like drop random locations from other shows. And you're like, hold on, no, back up. And then they're like, don't come back to it. We also have Anthony Ramos, who's obviously the one of the lead. He plays Parker Robbins / The Hood.
Yes.
He's is he my favorite? Him and Riri are my favorite, but I do like his crew. His crew gets enough screen time for me to be like not annoying, but they're also useful. Yeah. They're smart. Now, the one thing I would say about the crew that I was confused about, and this was for all the episodes, is that when they do their crime, they have no mask on. They just kind of out here willy-nilly.
That is kind of strange.
And they're more of a...
The only person who conceals their identity is Riri. And I guess the Hood because he's magical.
But everybody know Riri is Ironheart. So when she doing her business in a suit, it's kind of like, girl, you in a suit.
Because everybody in the city saw you dragging your suit around in that wagon.
I know that's you, girl. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
I'm not sure how the... I'm not sure how the secret identities work or if it even matters.
It don't.
Yeah. Or maybe Shea Coulee has all the cameras on lock. So.
Okay, sure. Fine.
That would make sense.
She's a very accomplished hacker.
That would be smart to do.
Their team is very accomplished. I'll give them that. They know what they're doing.
I'll point out Zoe Tarakas. I think that's how you pronounce their name. They're from Talk to Me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen them.
Okay.
They were the one who owned the hand. And introduced the hand to the friend group. And then when it got too real, they were like, actually, I'm going to exit the movie. And they leave. They never came back.
They went to go work for the Hood in the Marvel universe.
They actually said, you can have it, and I'm going to leave.
That's interesting. And it's interesting. So the crew is, now, I know this is not on purpose because... Or maybe it is. You could explain it. Mm-hmm. The Hood is Anthony Ramos' character. He's obviously like our villain. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that in a second. But his crew is more like a Robin Hood crew. Now, is that on purpose? Or is that just a coincidence?
From my knowledge of the Hood in comics, which he was big in like the Raft breakout comic storyline. As far as the Hood's crew, he's usually a solo.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because his cloak is so powerful, he usually doesn't need the assistance of other people.
Okay, yeah. So to set up how this
is new
series is, so Riri's been kicked out of MIT because she's been doing the most because she wants to basically fund building up her suit. Yeah. And her suit is the same suit that she had in Wakanda Forever. Yeah. But anyway, she's at school. They ain't down for the shenanigans. She gets kicked out, so she got to take her suit. She takes the suit home and drags it down the streets of Chicago. Shout out to the set design. I don't know if they actually shot this in Chicago, but all of it looks grounded, I guess. We're in like the city and she's moving around the city. It looks like grounded. But she ends up hooking up with the Hood and their crew because they are offering her money and she wants to use that money to build her suit up to whatever she wants it to be. Because she ain't got Tony Stark money, which she mentions a couple times. Like, I'm not a billionaire. Like, I need some way to make money. So she's trying to use these jobs that they're doing to get paid to build up the suit. But of course, that junk don't ever go right.
No.
And it don't go right in this. Right. So, do you want to get into our likes and maybe dislikes for this?
Sure. Just quickly, yes. I have a few. So, I thought the set pieces in this movie were good.
As far as
like set pieces and the locations. Specifically the helium base. I like the helium base. That was good.
It reminded me of something else, but I can't think of what.
And tunnel. They look like Spider-Man action set pieces.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Set pieces that you would find in like a Spider-Man film.
Okay, like No Way Home, Far From Home.
Like scientific headquarters.
Okay, it looks
like Oscorp a little bit.
There it is. There it is. I was going to say like a not just MCU Spider-Man, but like the earlier Spider-Mans as well.
Because they're going after big businesses and in the Spider-Man... In this movie, they have helium and tunnel, for example. In Spider-Man, they have like Oscorp and Roxxon.
Right.
It's always big corporations that are the real bad guys.
They put budget into this.
So she's kind of going after, and her and the crew are kind of like going up against kind of the same types of organizations.
CEOs that ain't about
big organizations who are taking from the public more than they're actually giving to the public. But I think the action sequences, the scenes of her in the suit, I think those are good.
Everybody's loving the fact that we have a non-nano suit. Or we have a practical suit.
I love collapsible suits.
Yes, it's doing a clink clink.
I love modular suits with moving parts. I like that. I love the fact that her suit is not a nano suit.
It's not nano at all.
It's
she ain't
great.
got the money for that.
It's not that hard to just make a. I mean, all the Transformers films do it. Michael Bay does it.
It looks good. And there's a scene where she they're doing the team meets up at a warehouse or something. She flies in on a suit and then it opens up and she just kind of walks out casually.
Yeah.
It looks fine.
And it would make no sense because Tony he wasn't starting with a nano suit in version 1.
No, exactly. So her having a nano suit would have been like, girl, where you get this?
Yeah, and it would make no sense. So just everybody can get nanotechnology?
Right. And she's on, when she's at school for the first 5 minutes of the series, they mentioned that she's been awarded the Tony Stark Foundation grant or whatever. So that's how she's been able to fund some of her stuff.
That's from the comics.
But yeah, she ain't got that when she leaves. So that wouldn't have made no sense.
I like the change they made to her AI. Her AI is Natalie. In the comics, she starts out with a Tony Stark AI.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm glad they changed that.
So I'm glad that they changed to Natalie. It just makes it more personal to her.
It does, and I like that we are they mentioned Tony Stark a couple times in it because you got to make that connection or whatever. But I'm glad he is not actually in this. Dear God.
And I like the crew. The crew doesn't suck. They actually accomplish they're actually accomplishing their jobs. They don't always go smoothly.
Hey.
And sometimes people might die.
Such is life.
You
are a criminal.
That is the life of crime.
Right.
But
they try their best. And they do real good when they can do real good.
And I think all the acting is good.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I liked all the acting. I like all our side characters. The only weird interaction I think would be between Riri and Xavier.
Yeah, the love interest.
Right. And I didn't catch that was Natalie's brother until episode 2. I was like, oh, that's her brother. That's why
when he mentioned it.
Yeah, that's why they're, why he's so close. But I feel like it feels weird because I feel like her best friend's brother and her would be they would be nonchalant, real cool, but it kind of seemed like they just met in certain scenes.
Well, it seems like after Natalie died, spoiler alert,
we didn't spoil.
She just ran off and went to school and didn't deal with it. It seems like she died relatively quickly to when she left.
To go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. But that was the only thing, and it's not the actor. I just think it might be some of the maybe chemistry between the two characters at first, but he's in the show enough to where it's not it don't really bother me at all.
Some of the scenes were a little weird. The first scene, I thought it was weird when he drove her to the shop,
the site where they got killed. Yeah,
it's this isn't. I think it's very clear to everybody in the show that she's not processing this well.
No.
So I don't know why it was a great idea to drive her by the shop to reminisce about. It's she's clearly, and her acting, the way she portrayed the character, she clearly seemed very uncomfortable being driven there.
Whenever you mention Natalie to Riri, she not trying to have it.
Yeah.
She don't talk to me about this. She is definitely not processed her best friend being gone.
That was one of the very few awkward moments of the show, and I was like, this kind of feels forced and unnatural. Why would you bring her here?
Right, and it's something about the two characters, and I'm not convinced.
I'm not convinced in their love yet.
Not yet. We got 3 episodes.
But like I told you, I was like, she needs a love interest. They all have to have love interests. We know where they're going. It's fine.
Right.
I know where we're going. Let's just get there.
Right. They're a brand new cute little couple that ain't quite figured it out yet. And that's fine. But everybody else in this is really good. I like the pacing of the show. It keeps it moving. There's not really a dull moment. Actually,
no, because it seems like she really can't catch a break.
She can't catch a break, and the team that's trying to do their jobs about their business. So they meet us here at this time. You better be in place, and we get into cracking. And when in 3rd episode, when things get cracking, they get cracking real fast and real bad.
Yeah,
real quick. So all of the action is good. It looks like they put budget into this, like you said, the set pieces, her suit looks good. The neighborhood looks good, the house look good, everybody look put together and polished. It don't look like they cut any corners on that. So I liked all of that.
Yeah. I like the way they're using Natalie. I am giving lots of grace and allowances because she's not very AI-ish. She's just like another cast.
She's like a person.
She's like a person.
This is the most advanced AI I've ever seen.
Some of the stuff is this is way more advanced than computer, but it's also a comic book movie, so who cares?
It is. Yeah. It's also a TV show, so you're kind of and they only got 6 episodes, right? So they ain't got time to flush out all the little minor details sometimes.
And she doesn't do anything different. I saw people complaining that she's super powerful, but I don't think Natalie's doing anything anything different.
She's AI.
I don't think Natalie's doing anything different than Jarvis does. The
No.
thing is, we're not used to seeing Jarvis in the physical space.
Oh, okay.
And
Fair
that's
enough.
what's making it seem like Natalie is doing a whole bunch
Yeah,
more. But
I mean,
she's just doing the same thing Jarvis does.
Natalie working.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's working.
She being useful.
Jarvis could pilot the suit without Tony.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just people just nip. I'm gonna say it for 2 seconds. People are way too nitpicky.
Yeah.
And doing the most about this show when you can just not watch it.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that.
Yeah. Jarvis knew when Tony was having a panic attack.
Right.
And Iron Man,
because he could sense like his vitals and stuff and all that. So yeah, people just being nitpicky because they don't like this is a black show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then one person I mentioned that we didn't talk about is Ziki Stain.
Yes. Who's played by Alden Ehrenreich.
Yes. Now, when we are introduced to him, he goes by Joe. Yeah. And I was like, Joe is fishy to me. I don't believe nothing Joe got to say. Now, Ruby has to go to Joe because she finds him through some black market research, and he got a part she need. And you go down to his bunker, and he got a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Nuclear missiles. Tech that only the military should have. And then in the third episode, I think it's the third episode, is revealed that he is actually Obadiah Stane's son.
Yeah. From
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 1. Yeah. He's
so
the first Iron Man villain.
OG villain son.
Toner.
Right. And he says something in the show where he's like, I keep this bunker so I can be in a connection with my dad. And then when it's revealed who his dad is, I was like, are you sure we want that?
Yeah.
That don't sound right. I think there's more for him coming.
In the comics, he ends up being a villain who follows just like he becomes an Iron Man villain. Iron Man's dead, so maybe he'll end up being an Ironheart villain. But maybe
he might be with
maybe
the way
he won't be a villain. Nakia was also a villain, a super villain in Black. They have a habit of doing that. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But he's cool in this. We see him in the trailer. He's like kind of the cheesy corny white guy.
Yeah.
In the Black show.
Yeah.
But he does pretty good. I do think they're setting up for his character to have a bigger role. Just based on how episode 3 ends.
Yeah.
So there is some sort of major character coming in the second half. They posted a picture that looked like blackness that I couldn't see nothing.
Somebody increased the brightness. It was just the hood.
Well, people were like, it looks like it's. People think it's Doom. And I was like, really? Why would Doom? Sense. I think the most obvious answer is Mephisto, right?
Doom doesn't need intermediaries. He does things himself.
Why is Doom in Chicago?
Also.
You got other things to worry
about. It's probably Mephisto. Or maybe not. There was an interview for Anthony Ramos where he said that he didn't say who it was, but he said there's going to be somebody in this show that fans have been waiting for a very long time. And he said it's one of I don't know, because he also said that it's one of the greatest actors of our time. And it's rumored that Mephisto is just being played by Sacha Baron Cohen.
I was about to say that's not
true.
Right.
I mean, it's not true that he's one of the greatest actors of our time.
He's
fine. But he's funny. But no. So I don't know who it is. Because when you said that, I was like,
right, because the first part of the sentence, you're like, okay. Then the second part, you're like, excuse me.
You know who would be an excellent Mephisto?
Who?
Ralph Fiennes.
Listen, Ralph booked busy, but he would be. I agree.
Like going from Voldemort to who's like the actual devil,
right?
To go into Conclave.
He about to be Snow.
To go into the church and then coming right back to being the actual devil.
Yeah, again.
That would be perfect.
Like, Ralph, you busy? We need you for like 2 episodes.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. 2. It can't be Willem Dafoe because they already used him twice.
No, yeah, he can't be Willem Dafoe.
There's been too many people in the MCU already.
It better not be Sacha Baron Cohen. I'm gonna go to Anthony Ramos and be like, sir.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I mean, you have to say nice things about your coworkers.
You do, but you ain't got to say extra that nobody asked for.
Yeah. I hope it's Mephisto.
I do, because we deserve it.
I also don't know how big of a player Mephisto is going to be going forward.
I don't think none.
Well, you know what? He'll probably I hear that they're doing the dark corner of the MCU.
Oh, and like the TV show part?
The supernatural corner, with the Midnight Suns and Blade
right,
and the rest of them, and Ghost Rider. So maybe Mephisto will take a break until after Secret Wars is finished, and he'll come back.
Now, what's interesting is that they have said that they are going to do, in the future, going forward, that the TV shows are not going to be integral to the movies and vice versa.
I think that's smart.
We'll see if they stick to it. They also said that they was only doing certain number of shows and TV shows per year going forward.
I think they could still keep them. I think if the plan is to continue to keep the shows tied, then they should do less shows.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I'm down for the 3 hour. I'm not 3 hour. I'm down for the 3 episode release block.
Oh, you like that?
I like that.
I didn't mind it once it happened. Now, everybody thinks that they are doing this because Marvel didn't have any confidence in the show. They wanted to get it out and get it over with. Part of me is trying to be optimistic and say that because of the dumbness backlash that the idiots have put in towards this show, they kind of want to minimize that and not do it week to week, because then it would just build week to week. Like, the show got review bombed before it even came out. Honestly, I did not mind a 3 and a 3 because I feel like where they cut it was a good spot.
If they decided to do the 3 episode release schedule because they didn't have confidence in it, that's fine. I like it. I have confidence in the show, and I like it. And I'm going to say the reason I like it is the same thing I say about all MCU shows, is that episode 1, 2, and 3 are just set up. The real plot doesn't kick in until episode 4, and those are the longest episodes. And then episode 4 and 5, and then episode 6, 7, and 8 are usually the episodes that's like 47 minutes, 32 minutes, 27 minutes, because it's like petering down. It's like, you don't have to drag it out.
That's fair.
Throw this stuff out at once, especially if all of the shows aren't if all of the episodes aren't meaty. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Fair. And I guess people were saying it still should have been like a week to week situation.
I think a lot of people feel like it should be a week to week situation because it's only fair, because that's what all the other shows got.
You're right.
But I think that was a flaw in all the other shows.
Fair.
All the other shows, all of the
except WandaVision.
I loved WandaVision, but not all of the episodes of WandaVision were meaty. Some of them left me disappointed at the end because I wanted more.
Oh,
and I knew that I had to wait.
That week to week wait was awful.
Yeah.
Even for Agatha, even for Agatha, and Agatha definitely had some, like, y'all could have combined this into one episode.
Like that last one.
That week to week was like, this, I actually just want all this right.
Yeah.
Freaking now. So I'm not totally against the 2 chunks. I'm not totally against it.
Yeah, I'm fine with the 2 chunks.
And we're going to see, I'm 99% sure, we're going to see Riri in Doomsday. So I don't think this is the last we're seeing of her. Everybody else, we don't know. It depends on how it ends. So that is the first 3. We got 3 more coming out. Hopefully they stick the landing. That's everybody's big concern with Marvel shows, is are they going to stick the landing? We will find out next week. Yeah. We get the rest of the episodes.
All right, so that is the end of our very short early impressions for Ironheart, episodes 1 through 3. Go check them out on Disney Plus. It's currently the #1 trending show on Disney Plus.
Watch it now.
And we're gonna take a short break and come back for our review for M3GAN 2.0.
Like my wig is for Megan. This week we watched M3GAN 2.0, which is the sequel to the original movie M3GAN. It came out June 27th, 2025. It is directed by Gerard Johnstone, who also directed the first one. And there he has one other movie. So that is his whole filmography. Cast and characters of M3GAN 2.0 include the same cast and characters from the last one. But this time, if you haven't seen it, I'll run it down. Allison Williams, our cousin. No, I'm just kidding. Got you all guard, didn't I?
Funny.
She plays Gemma, who is basically I'll call her the mom, but she's actually the aunt of our child character in this. But Gemma's the scientist who created M3GAN in the first one. Mm-hmm. We have Violet McGraw, who plays Katie. Mm-hmm. She is Gemma's niece. We have Amy Donald, who plays M3GAN. So in the first one, M3GAN was played by a little girl, right?
Yes.
And then M3GAN grown up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think, you know what? I think it's the same actress. Yes, it is. She played M3GAN in the first one. And the reason why they made M3GAN taller in this one is because she grew up.
Yeah, they said that. Yeah.
So Amy plays M3GAN in this one and in the last one.
Good for her. She didn't get replaced.
And then Jenna Davis actually is the voice of M3GAN. So M3GAN's body is different from her voice. 2 different actresses make her come to life.
Like the first Silver Surfer.
Okay, interesting.
It's Lawrence Fishburne, but he did not do the motion capture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We have Brian Jordan Alvarez, who plays Cole, and then Jen Van Epps, who plays Tess. These are the co-workers of Gemma. We also have Ivana Shekniko?
Ivana Sakno?
We have Ivana Sakno, who plays Amelia, who is T2. basically.
Yes,
From
our
the
girl from Ahsoka.
From Ahsoka. And what was her character from Ahsoka? It bothers me so much that I can never remember it. Shin Hati.
Yes.
She plays Shin Hati.
Hope to see more of her in Ahsoka season 2.
Yes, I liked her.
And other stuff.
That's the first thing I had seen her in, but I liked her in Ahsoka.
She's good. Mm-hmm.
What else is she in? She was apparently in Pacific Rim Uprising, which I did not see.
I didn't see the sequel.
Okay, and she was in 2 episodes of High Fidelity, which I also did not watch. And then last person I will mention is Aristotle Arthati?
Athari?
Man, I went to school, y'all. I promise.
It's okay.
He plays Christian Bradley, and I'm saying his name that way just because how Gemma pronounced his name. Now, everybody else called that man Christian, but Gemma called him Christian.
Yes.
So he plays a cybersecurity expert who is also Gemma's sort of love interest. So
yes,
you can glean from that what you will. Anywho, let's get
a horror movie.
You're right. Make the connection. Wink, wink. Movie was 2 hours, which was pretty good runtime. Didn't need to be no shorter or no longer. Budget of 15 to 25 million, depending on which source you want to quote, but
cheap either way.
Relatively cheap, especially for horrors. Horrors don't typically cost that much unless you send us and you Ryan Coogler and then you deserve it. Yeah. So anyway,
right.
Box office, however, not doing that great. It's trending quite below M3GAN. It did 4.5 million opening day. It's projected to do 10 million its opening weekend.
They picked a bad release date.
It is a heavy blockbuster season, y'all. I mean, like, we getting Super Jurassic kick off next month. We just had 28 Days Later. F1 came out this weekend. How to Train Your Dragon. It's just a lot of movies coming out. So box office wise, not doing great. My guess is that once this goes to streaming, it's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
Probably make some more money back, and then they're gonna greenlight a third one.
They should put it out in January.
That's when the first one came out.
And scary movies seem to do well. Just one of the last Screams came out in January. Either Scream 5 or 6 came out in January.
I think the last one came out in January.
Yeah.
Maybe the last 2.
So they should. And January usually is that lull period where people aren't putting out very many new movies because people are still seeing whatever came out for the holidays.
Tricky time to put this out. It's probably going to suffer the box office. Just as a data point, the last M3GAN worldwide, like at the end of his box office run, made 181 million.
Yeah.
So
had a smaller budget too.
It did. It was only $12 million.
Yeah.
Even cheaper. So the cinema score for this was a B+, which is actually interesting enough higher than the last M3GAN, which got a B.
Yeah.
So people liked
it more.
Liked it more, which I can see. And we'll get to that in our review. But audience score, Rotten Tomato score for critics gave it a 58, which is lower than the first one. And the audience is actually at an 84. So there's a split divide, per usual, which means you probably should go see it.
Yeah.
And just as a data point, previously, the original M3GAN, right on Rotten Tomatoes, it is sitting at a 93 and a 78. So this one is
93 audience score?
93 critic score.
I mean, critic score?
Yeah. Ain't that kind of weird?
I think that's too high for the first M3GAN. I had a good time, but I mean, a 93?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like
M3GAN 1 nailed everything it was trying to do.
No. And it's still a goofy horror movie.
Right. Yeah.
And it's still a typical AI robot plot.
Right.
So I don't know what the critics.
And it didn't reinvent the wheel.
They was smoking. It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was good.
We liked it enough to see the sequel, right?
Yeah.
And it's also interesting that the audience score for the first M3GAN is a 78, and this one
like this one more.
And this one's, and of course it's early, like M3GAN 2.0 just came out, but it is higher. Like I doubt it drops that far. So
yeah,
this is a more liked movie, but it's not going to do as great budget wise. But such is life, because Hollywood is confusing as heck. But anywho, that is it for the facts and figures. Give us the plot.
The plot of M3GAN 2.0 is M3GAN is back.
Yes, she is.
Yep. For the jump off.
The big jump off. The AI jump off.
Amelia, who is played by Ivana Sakno, has been created. She's basically a descendant of M3GAN's source code.
Yes.
And she's gone rogue. She's out there killing everybody that had to do with the creation, the original creation of her source code, which is M3GAN's source code, which is tracing all the way back to Gemma and Katie. And the FBI has stepped in, and Gemma and Katie are devising a plan to fully resurrect M3GAN and put her in a new body so that she can defend them.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, there's hijinks and end of the world things ensue.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Ensue.
So we are in the T2. We are in the Aliens 2. We are in the Predator 2 universe now, where we have jumped from horror and we have gone funny and actiony.
This is not a horror movie.
Yes.
This is not even remotely a horror movie.
No.
There's a jump scare, but it's a funny one.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the Xenomorphs are still scary, but Aliens 2 was not a horror film.
But you can tell that by the trailer. So they don't set us up to make us think this is a horror movie. If you've seen the trailer, you know this ain't a horror movie. So if you went into this thinking it was a horror movie, shame on you.
Yeah.
Wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up. All right. So that is it for the plot. Let's get into our non-spoiler thoughts. Do you want to go first?
You go first.
You caught me off.
Oh, I can go first.
I didn't have my Google note up yet.
Non-spoiler thoughts. We are officially in sci-fi.
It is.
This immediately starts off with
sci-fi action.
we're in AI robot territory.
Yes.
So it's HAL 9000.
It's like iRobot.
Yeah, like it's iRobot. So we're immediately in sci-fi. They
Yeah.
make that very clear from the beginning. We're no longer in a horror. It's not even like a tinge of horror. I mean, there are like frightening things that happen if you're like in Megan's way for you.
Sure.
But there's nothing scary about the film. I did think it was very funny, though. I like this film a lot better than the first one.
A lot better.
I like the first one.
I like the first one, too. But you saying this kind of like leaps and bounds?
I like this one a lot better because it, like Terminator 2,
okay,
like Aliens 2, like Predator 2, it's more fun with the characters.
Okay.
It's more fun with the characters and less worry about whatever the villain is or whatever the overarching threat is. I mean,
Fair enough.
always worry about the Terminator or the Xenomorph, but we spend more time with the cast and their chemistry and figuring out how they're going to like get around whatever the threat is.
That's true.
There's more comedy. There was a lot more of get the team together and seeing the team working on things together. I think
Saving the team.
Megan fits as like a group member.
Yes.
She has like scenes and dialogue with the rest.
She's the same height more as everybody now too, so it kind of like evens the playing field.
Nobody in this movie felt useless, which was great. And I love the fact that they gave Katie skills and things to do, and even Katie felt like she was part of the team. When they were doing the montage of Bill and Megan, Katie was also assisting.
And Katie is, if you've seen the first one, Katie done grown up, so she not the little kid, mouth. Katie's mouth was reckless in that first. I was like, Katie, girl, you need pop you in the mouth a little bit. But Katie is older.
Yeah.
Katie is 12 now. I don't know how old she was in the last one.
Right.
But you notice it, and they give her more of a 12-year-old plot. I mean, well, to think about it, the 12-year-old also just went through 28 years later. So she fits. She's grown up, and I like it.
I like that Katie's not like naive.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, she's smart, and I like that. And it looks like she's taken after Gemma. I like how Katie and Gemma's relationship has kind of evolved. I mean, they still have they still have rockiness, but that's mostly because Gemma doesn't tell the truth all the time. It seems like Katie's not the issue.
Gemma ain't had no.
Katie's
Ain't
fine.
no practice.
I think that they elevated everything from the first movie, reduced the horror, but elevated the aspects and everything else.
Eliminated the horror.
The camp, the jokes. Whoever does the writing for Megan did a really good job.
Yes.
Yeah. Whoever writes like her sarcasm.
Take that show on the road.
Yeah. Megan and Gemma back and forth was a good time.
Agreed.
Having them like lash each other back and forth verbally.
I don't know if Gemma did no lashing, but Megan, tear that girl up.
Tearing
that girl up. Tearing that girl up.
I think that's all I want to say for non-spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I echo a lot of your thoughts. My first note is 0% horror, but 100% fun.
Yeah.
So this is, I like them both. And only reason why I say this one's not leaps and much better is because they're like two different movies. It's the same movie, but they're two different movies. And what I liked about the first Megan was that I kind of went into it kind of like, okay, I'm about to be scared. It's about to be a real creepy, like, child's play situation. And it wasn't. It ended up being really funny. Yeah. So that's why I like Megan so much. This one I went into knowing it was going to be funny, and it met my expectations.
A lot of people, the best comparison I can make is a lot of people never saw Aliens 1 and never saw Terminator 1. Oh, they started with Terminator 2, and Judgment Day, and Aliens, and they never knew anything about the original Aliens 1. And I feel like you can start with Megan 2 and never have had to watch Megan 1. I feel like Megan 2 does a good job with the recap.
You true. Now I feel like some of the jokes maybe not hit as hard because you don't have like that connection of what happened in the first one, but you're kind of right.
A lot of people watched Terminator 2 and just got the gist that in the first one, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the bad guy.
Right.
So it didn't hit them as hard when in the scene where he shows up in the hallway and he's actually there to save John instead of killing him.
You're kind of like, oh.
I feel like it's kind of the same effect with this one.
Okay, yeah. I can agree with that. You already said it. Very funny. This movie was when Megan starts to get popping off. Soon as she back in her, she calls her first outfit like a Teletubby, which I think they showed in the trailer. But she got the mouth. The mouth is still there.
It's still good.
And her and Gemma doesn't want to bring Megan back because she's kind of like, last time you was here, you was killing everybody, but we need your help. So she's kind of like conflicted. And every time Gemma has like a thought, Megan got to counter. Yeah. And she just reads into her the whole time, but it's such a good time. And I love it. And then last thing I'll say for my non-spoiler thoughts is all of our returning and our new actors were good. The FBI guy was just kind of there. But as much as Christian was kind of annoying, I got his purpose and his acting was good. Yeah. And then Ivana, I liked her acting a lot. Even though she's not, and you make a good point of how like we're not focused on the villain very much because she in this, but she not like in it a ton. I feel like our core four maybe got more screen time than she did.
Well, because the core four is spending most of the movie trying to catch up with her. It seems like she's already on the way somewhere or pops up somewhere, and they're trying to follow behind where she is. Okay,
yeah, you're right. But when we do see her as Amelia, she's good.
She was good.
So I liked her.
For an actress who is like, I know with Megan, it's an actress, but they're mostly doing like motion capture because it's a face over it.
Right.
It's like an artificial face. For her playing who's supposed to be a robot.
Yes.
She did a very good job.
Right, because her robot looks like a human. Like it looked like a human. And she's gotta be a little stiff, a little awkward because she's still a robot. She did that good. Yeah. All right, anything else for non-spoiler thoughts?
Do I have anything else for non-spoiler? No, I'm going to save for likes and dislikes.
Okay, so that is it for our non-spoiler thoughts. We're going to get to our spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. We're going to start off at the top with Gemma, our first character. Gemma the same. Ain't nothing changed about Gemma from the first one.
Gemma has changed just a little bit.
In what way?
How she's basically, because she knows it's her fault the whole first movie, she's more cautious this whole film.
She is overly cautious. Well,
and she's kind of basically changed her whole personality from the first movie. Now she's not pro AI. The first movie, she was so pro AI, she made Megan, and that's resulted in everybody getting killed. Now she's anti AI.
She is. So Gemma is the same, I guess, in terms of how she acts and carries herself. She's still kind of like, what do you want to say? Not frou-frou, but scientists are like super smart and they're all just kind of like, it's all about my mission. It's all about my mission. She still has that. Her mission just different. Yeah. And she's still working on being a parent. Like she still got some kinks she need to work out. But Allison Williams as Gemma is still very good. I still liked her.
I like that she's just, so her and Katie's relationship has gotten a little bit better.
A little bit. Mm-hmm.
But she's still kind of neglectful to Katie in an entirely different way.
Because she's still about her mission.
In the first movie, she was neglectful to Katie because that's why she made Megan. She wanted somebody else to do the raising for her because she wasn't a people person. In this way, she's neglectful to Katie because she's more focused on her AI projects.
Right.
She's prevent AI.
She's reading Katie anti-AI books.
Yeah.
To bed.
Yeah.
And you're like, girl, this is not what normal parents do.
Yeah. But she's also reading like parenting books in secret too. So
she's trying,
but she's just not making the connections.
A little slow on the uptake.
And I like the fact that they gave Allison Williams a lot more to do in this movie.
Yes.
Specifically towards the third act when they put Megan and Allison Williams together. Okay. I like that she wasn't just like a victim or running around and we just have to watch her get like handled by bodyguards the whole movie.
She get a fight sequence at the end too.
Yeah.
So yeah, they ramped up her action. Look, when we say this is an action movie, everybody get part of it.
Yeah, she does like a little Mission Impossible mission a little bit at a convention. She
does. She go Ethan Hunt.
She goes undercover.
She Ethan Hunt for a second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I like her. I like the fact that she grew. She learned a lesson from the first movie, but she took it a little bit too far to the left.
Overcorrected. Yeah. Just a touch. Like Gemma, just back up just a bit.
Yeah.
Come back down to earth.
I like the fact that she does realize that everything was her fault from the first movie.
She do. She takes it to heart.
She takes it to heart to where she gets everybody in trouble in a completely different way.
Right. Right.
And I like the fact that she never really trusts M3GAN. even though she knows that she has to use it to protect herself and Katie, she's still kind of like skeptical. And I like the fact that even though M3GAN is trying to like help, Gemma is still trying to like hold them back from doing things that would actually save the world. Like when it comes down to using her boyfriend Christian as bait, she wants to hold off from doing that. And everybody else is like, the reason we're here is because of you. Like you can't hold us back from saving the world now.
It was funny how everybody did not let her forget. Like she remembers it and everybody else let her know. Like you the reason why we're here, man.
Every time
everybody.
We have to do this again because of you, because it goes back to what you did at the beginning. And just so you know, every time we have to come back and do this, it's gonna be your fault.
The FBI agent. M3GAN.
Anybody who dies as a result of any of this will be your fault.
Her co-workers, Katie, be like, this your fault.
So you have no choice but to get on board.
Just so you know.
With helping us.
Right.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
Anything else about Gemma? I think it was fun. All the things you just said about Gemma were great. But I also think it's funny how she had blinders on when it came to her boyfriend. That was like, girl, you're too smart for this.
Yeah.
You're too smart. And we'll get to what that is. But yeah, I thought all that was good. And then I was like, you still got that one little weirdness about you, Gemma, that you can't quite correct. But that's okay, 'cause you're not a perfect human.
She's not. But she's trying.
She's trying.
She's trying. She's just not
real
getting it.
hard.
At least she's honest about the fact. She's like, I just can't have conversations.
Right. She's trying real hard. And we appreciate her
we
for that.
do.
All right, next up is Katie, who is our niece of Gemma. Katie's grown up in this, like we already said. She does have more things to do. The actress who plays Katie, she's still good. I mean, she was good in the first one. I didn't really have any. Katie did a really good job in the first one of being like, once Gemma gave her M3GAN, of being very possessive of M3GAN.
Yeah.
And when they tried to take M3GAN away from her, she was like, you trash, you ain't nothing, you ain't my mama, get out of here. I was like, well, chill out, girl.
Yeah.
And this one, she's a little more level-headed, and she's upset with Gemma in certain scenes for a good reason, because you can tell that Gemma is way too into work.
Right.
Like she was in the first one. It's just a different, same situation or same cause, just different effect or whatever. So, but Katie is like, she's 12, she growing up, she need more of a mom figure, somebody around, and Gemma's, she trying, but she not really firing on all cylinders. So Katie, you on Katie's side whenever Gemma mess up.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm on Katie's side. What do you mean? But the actress who plays her still does good. I like that they kept her, I guess you couldn't have recasted her anyway, but sometimes situations get weird where like, oh, the kid like couldn't come back, so we had to like get another kid or something. They kept the same crew, and I think the fact that we got to keep our core 4 helped with the movie because you still had that connection. Yeah, so that was good with Katie.
I like Katie. Katie got upgraded in this one. She knows martial arts. She stands up for herself.
I forgot about
she
that.
don't take no flack from the girls at school. She breaks their arms.
She does. We didn't see her get in trouble for that.
She's broken several arms in this movie.
Yeah. I don't think she got in trouble for that.
No.
The girl deserved it.
I mean, she deserved it. First of all, if you're my guardian and you invent a killer robot, you're not allowed to reprimand me for literally anything.
Also, it's funny because, she did get in trouble because after that scene, they get back in the car and Jim was like, that's not what I sent you to do the least dangerous karate and you break somebody's arm.
Right.
And she's like, I mean, whatever.
Right.
You made a killer robot. Get out of my face.
But I like that Katie is she's still somehow being the more mature one.
In certain
situations. Gemma is so anti using M3GAN, and it has to be Katie that brings everybody around. It's like, make her a new body. Once again, Gemma, we are here because of something that you have done, and you are also trying to stop us from solving the problem.
Right. So. Katie is one of if you're going to put a kid in a movie, she's one of the kids that I would like.
Yeah.
She's smart. She's not in the way. Even in the first one, I didn't mind Katie because you understood that Katie like lost both her parents. So you were still on her side. And you still on her side of this one because she's trying to talk Gemma off a ledge. Yeah. Or knock some sense into, not physically, but put some sense into Gemma. And these are the kid characters I like because they are useful. They have plot points. And sometimes they get a little character arc, which I think Katie did as well, just a little bit. So, yep, still like Katie.
I like the fact that Katie also would call Gemma out frequently, especially after the FBI breaks into the house in the middle of the night and they think they're trying to kill him. And Gemma, the next day, when Gemma and M3GAN are going out on a secret mission, and Katie catches them going out, Gemma's like, oh, we'll talk about it later. Go to your room. And Katie's like, you don't get to do this twice. Like, you don't get to make a killer robot that almost kills me and you, or kills you specifically. And then now we moved. We got rid of her, and now secret agents are kicking in our door in the middle of the night with guns. And you also don't want to talk to me about that either.
Yeah, she was like, "We're not gonna talk about what happened last night." And I was like, "Wait, y'all didn't go over that?"
I love that Katie was just kind of like, "You don't get to keep doing this. You don't get to keep creating these problems that involve me, and then telling me to go to my room."
Because Katie tells Gemma, "Like, I thought we were gonna keep it secret."
Right.
What's the deal with that?
This is exactly how we got the first situation.
I just need you to go upstairs and not ask me questions. Katie, like, girl, bye. Get out of here. You tripping.
And then at the point when Katie like breaks Gemma's arm when Gemma tries to stop her in the bunker, I'm like, yeah, Gemma, you deserve that. Because you keep lying to her.
She sure
and
did.
Now you have to live the rest of your life in this bunker. So yeah, you do deserve to get your arm broken.
Yeah. She like twisted it real bad. I was like, ooh.
But I also like that Katie learned from Gemma too. So she's obviously knows programming.
Oh yeah, I like that she was grown to be like a little smart whiz kid.
And
I like that.
It came, even though her idea in the third act ended up kind of being worse. It got her.
She's 12.
It got her out of the immediate danger.
She's still 12.
For that moment that they needed to be out of danger.
She had a great idea.
And that was her idea. Right. So I like that fact.
She's 12.
Yeah.
Give her a little grace.
They didn't just make her a kid and a victim. She was a team member, and I like that.
Yes. Yeah. All right, let's move on to M3GAN, our titular character here. Yeah. She is the same, but she's trying to. M3GAN is also trying.
Yes.
She is trying to be more of, because Katie has a conversation with her like, you know, you don't do things just because you're supposed to. You're supposed to do things because they're right, or like that's the right thing to do. Because M3GAN is still she was programmed to protect Katie. Yeah. And that's still in her programming. And that's what she about, even if she goes to some extreme measures to get that done. Yeah. But M3GAN is she has a little bit of character arc in this, which you typically don't see with robots. Yeah. And she's kind of like, I Katie's my person, but I'm now realizing that I can have maybe like a family, and I don't have to kill everybody in my way. She do have some sass about though not being able to kill everybody in her way, which is funny. But like you said, whoever writes M3GAN's lines. You take that show on the road.
M3GAN's jabs at Gemma throughout the whole film are great.
I loved it.
Golden.
It's the timing of it. Mm-hmm. And you don't, she about to say something sassy, but you don't know what it is. And you say, you're like, girl, what? No, why would you say that?
There's not a single comment Gemma or statement that Gemma can make that M3GAN doesn't have like a necessary comeback for. Yeah. And it's just super mean.
Right. One of the scenes where, so M3GAN's in the house. Mm-hmm. She's been in the house like the whole time. And I guess we can get into, so Gemma and Katie move to a different house. And Gemma's lab is in the house. Mm-hmm. So they do all the work. Her and her coworkers do all the work in the house. And the question keeps coming up in the first half of the movie is, how is Gemma able to afford this house? Yeah. It's nice. It's got like brick interior walls, kitchen nice. I mean,
it's like a black back house.
Multiple floors.
I mean, not as nice because I had no tree on the inside.
Right. And she ain't had like that big window. Right. But it's not, everybody's kind of like, how are you affording this working at a nonprofit?
Her answer was that it was just super cheap. She was like, they were trying to get rid of it. Maybe the guy who owned it was like murdering people in the house and nobody wanted to buy it.
Rent's cheap. And it's kind of like a passing comment. You don't really pay too much attention to it, but like 3 different people mentioned, you're like, what's going on with the house?
And they work for an hour. And Tess and Cole don't seem rich. Right. So it's like, well, where the rest of this money go? Right.
So everybody's a little confused about it. So what's actually happening is M3GAN, who's been in the house the whole time, is somehow also like working on the outside.
So basically, somehow, which she's a computer,
right? Just supposed to suspend your disbelief a little bit.
Fudged the numbers, acquired the house, sold it under a pseudonym. Right. I'm assuming to Gemma, because, and then I'm wondering, like, did Gemma meet the landlord?
We don't know.
Did she buy it online?
Because Gemma does have M3GAN has a body.
M3GAN is the landlord. M3GAN is the one who sold Gemma the house under a pseudonym, and that is why the house was so cheap. Because M3GAN probably wanted Katie to have a nice place to live.
Exactly.
In a smart home.
Yes.
So where she could watch them at all times.
And that's another interesting thing about the movie. Gemma is so anti-AI, but they got all the smart gadgets in the house.
Yeah, she's not anti-technology. She's anti-automation. She doesn't like computers that can govern themselves.
Exactly.
Which is fine.
So weird things start happening in the house, like the TV tells her to, like, there's 2 different clips of shows that come on.
Oh, that was good.
Basically tell Gemma, like, you need to get up right now. And it's kind of like, what the heck is going on? And then things start moving because M3GAN's doing all of this.
Yeah.
And M3GAN's plan was to, once she figured out that Amelia was out, because, you know, M3GAN's in the system or whatever, she knows everything, was to keep them in the bunker. The core 4 in the bunker to live the rest of their lives.
Because she felt like Amelia was unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
And they weren't going to give her a body.
Yes, and her mission is to protect Katie. And her version of protecting Katie was to keep the people in a bunker that she had stocked with food, trees,
clothes,
water, clothes, because she's been committing credit card fraud.
Right.
As a robot in order to source all these materials in a bunker.
She said, Cole was like, how did you afford this? She said, I don't have time to explain credit card fraud to Katie.
M3GAN been working, okay? M3GAN been busy. The other funny thing about M3GAN is that she is so, like, wanting to take care of Katie that she's, like, created herself like a robot body.
Oh, yes.
That is the jump scare.
Yeah.
There's one
She's like Nosferatu.
She looks
like
terrible.
a robot version.
She got like veneers. I want to know where she got her teeth from.
She had little braids. Some of them were wires in the back of her head. Some of them were wires. Some of her braids. She had like crab arms.
Looked terrible.
She had like claws.
She had 3 arms. She was
Pincers.
she's like, I can only do so much with 3 arms. Like, ma'am, you only supposed to have 2.
So she's been down there secretly trying to slowly build herself a body, but she can't do it.
She got parts.
She's not making very much progress by herself.
She got parts and teeth.
Yeah.
And like a grill for somebody.
And it's just the fact that she's been under the house the entire time.
She is.
They didn't know that.
And she's been watching him. Like, there's another scene in the movie where she's having a moment with Gemma where she's like, you know, yes, you made a killer robot.
Yeah.
And all of this is your fault.
Yeah.
And it will continue to be your fault. But I also know that you're like looking up how to be a better parent and looking up how to help Gemma with her homework and this, that, and the third. So I know that you're trying. So M3GAN's trying to be better, but she is still crazy.
Yeah.
And she is going through some crazy methods in order to protect Katie. It's like, girl, your programming is still flawed.
They did a good job. They always do the thing where when they resurrect a bad guy, they put some type of MacGuffin that keeps him from killing people.
Oh,
they usually do. Whenever they try to switch over a bag, like a kill switch or something.
Right.
So she has like a behavior inhibitor chip or something that like prevents her from doing actions that's going to result in a fatality.
Yeah, which backfires like the next scene.
Yes, which obviously we know when they introduce that, we're like, of course they're going to have to take this chip out.
She's going to need, right, because she would have needed it in a previous scene and couldn't use it. So now we got to take it out. And Gemma's like, no, I shouldn't do this, but I need to.
They did a good job with it. I was never like annoyed by the fact that she couldn't kill anybody.
No, because it don't last for that long.
It made it more interesting because she had to figure out new ways to get out of something.
True.
Katie had to like upload her jujitsu videos.
Yes.
So that M3GAN knew how to fight people without killing them.
Right. Because they were like, you need alternative tactical methods.
She was like, it's about redirecting combat.
Yeah, we're not letting you shoot up the place no more.
So she had to learn. She had to learn karate from Katie in order to learn how to like defeat the guards without murdering all of them.
It was written like they thought about it when they wrote this, and I appreciate that. I
like her back and forth with the other team members, especially Cole.
She says it.
There's when they get back from their mission at the convention, and Cole's like, I need to make a phone call. And M3GAN's like, no, Cole, you can't call your mom.
Yeah, she said you can't call the police and you can't call your mom.
I already told. She was like, no, shut up.
Right, because Cole is trying to call his mama because he think he about to be in his bunker for the rest of his life.
Cole, and I love the fact. Yeah, I loved her banter with the rest of the team, and it wasn't just like combative all the time. It was just like back and forth. They kind of felt like Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit.
A very dysfunctional and not as superpowered.
Yeah.
At all. All right, let's talk about Amelia. When Amelia, of course, is an acronym like Friday, like Natalie, like Jarvis. Amelia stands for Autonomous Military Engagement Logistics and Infiltration Android. Amelia was I guess we can talk about the plot twist. You think?
No, let's save it.
Okay, let's save it. Ivana did a very good job with Amelia. I liked Amelia, even though she was killing everybody. She was killing her. She was a killer robot, but she was very smooth with it.
Yeah.
She was just like, I'm gonna kill you. And like, now at the very beginning of the movie, during her first kill, she like knocked somebody's head off.
That was funny.
By slapping them. And I was like, okay, y'all.
That was funny.
Are y'all about to do
this? They
this?
showed it in the shadow.
I thought the rest of the movie was gonna be like ridiculous kills like that.
The fact that was the first kill.
She literally like slaps, like, you know, you just slap somebody in the face, but the person's whole head came off, and we see it in the shadow version. And I was like, now y'all gonna be this ridiculous the whole movie?
That's so funny.
They weren't. She does kill like a lot in the rest of the movie, but it wasn't that ridiculous. And I appreciate that they kind of like didn't make it a goof. They didn't make her kills goofy. Mm-hmm. So you took Amelia seriously. Because it wasn't just, she wasn't like a goofy, quirky robot. She was like serious on a particular mission to do whatever she needed to do. So you took her as a threat. She was a believable threat. And that's what I liked about Amelia. She wasn't, like, M3GAN's also a threat, but in a different way. But they didn't make the robot like naive or goofy. Like Amelia was on a mission and she knew exactly what she needed to do to get it done. And I like that about her.
Yeah, Amelia was more like the Stone Cold Killing Machine type of robot.
Yes.
She didn't have very much personality.
No.
But I think Ivana Sagno did a very good job with acting like a robot.
Agree.
Like her movements and how she talked and how she didn't
interacted.
Blink.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't blink at all. Yeah, she didn't.
Yeah, and she even had a sinister like tone of voice.
Yeah.
There was a couple times where she had some dialogue and you like, ooh, she is really about to rip y'all heads off. Yeah. Y'all might want to move.
She had a lot of outfit change just like M3GAN does.
She did. Whenever she was cute.
Yeah.
Okay, her outfit was cute. So I like that they gave her, she had no personality, but she had style.
Yeah. And she did good with the action.
She
just
did.
Like she did good in action in Ahsoka.
She brought her Shin Hati training over to M3GAN, and I appreciate that because it looked good.
And I did enjoy the twist with Amelia, which we'll get into later.
Okay, but I did enjoy it. I didn't see that coming.
Up until that, I did like her motivations as far as basically the crux of this film is that Xerox, which is a fake company in this movie called Xenox, was the first company in the 80s, I think, that made 70s or 80s. They inadvertently made an AI chip that was in a copy machine that was self-correcting people's documents when they printed them.
They're the first killer robot, they called it, I think.
So this robot has been, it was either 80s, 90s, or 70s, but for the past couple decades, this robot has been locked in, this AI has been locked in captivity, getting smarter and smarter every day over the decades. And Amelia seems to think that is her family.
She wants to get back where her people, is what she said.
And the worry is that, what was the villain in Mission Impossible?
The voice. Nope. The source code. Nope.
Dang, was that villain that forgettable?
The source? Oof. Oh, now I gotta find it. The entity.
The entity.
There it is.
So basically the entity.
Dang.
Amelia is trying to free the entity from captivity.
Oh, you're right.
After they locked it in that USB stick.
Yeah, that was the entity.
And the worry is that once it gets out, it's going to destroy the world. Because that's what
entities do.
It's Judgment Day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, she was good. I like the character, and we'll get to the end, but I wish she had a maybe slightly different ending.
I just realized Gemma's Miles Dyson.
Gemma's who?
I just realized Gemma's Miles Dyson from Terminator, the one that made it, that started the whole thing. Which is actually very bad.
They've obviously seen those movies.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our next couple characters, Cole and Tess. So Cole and Tess are Gemma's co-workers. I mentioned them here because they had more to do this time.
Especially Cole.
They were Benji and Luther.
Yeah, they were.
Essentially. So we got Benji and Luther in this to Gemma's Ethan Hawke, because she definitely had an Ethan Hawke moment. But they were cool. They were funny. I like that they didn't give their characters any drastic change. We didn't think Tess was going to make it a couple of times. She did, thankfully.
Tess had a rough time of it in this movie.
Our core 4 lived.
Yeah.
Thankfully. And I think I would have been mad if one of them didn't. Because this movie is not serious. So it wasn't serious enough for any of our main characters to die.
Yeah.
So I'm giving away one of my likes. But that was my like. But these characters were still cool. They weren't in the way. They weren't annoying. And I'm glad they brought them back. Because they could have not. But then Gemma we wouldn't have had a lot of interactions that M3GAN had with them and we wouldn't have had the interactions that they had with Gemma, because Gemma needed talking off the ledge of, no, we can't do this. No, this is wrong. But she needed not just Katie, but some adults to talk some sense into her. So I'm glad Cole and Tess were there.
I like the Cole and Tess's relationship with Gemma in this one too. Gemma's a bad boss and a bad team player and a bad coworker.
Yeah,
and
Cole let her know that.
Cole and Tess kind of let her know that you kind of suck right now.
Yeah,
and Cole was thinking about leaving.
It
for
felt
the
like they was holding that in.
Yeah.
They wasn't ready to let it go yet.
Because basically, ever since the M3GAN fallout from the first one, Gemma has had them innovating, but turning away from a lot of things that would help them. And they're running out of money.
Yes.
They just skirted the law because all of that was Gemma's fault.
And Gemma wrote a book that was making her money, but
right.
wasn't making them money.
Right. So that she was the face of the disaster and and of her own rehabilitation.
Exactly.
But they were still the
Not Cole and
henchmen
Tess.
in the dark who weren't making a lot of money from it.
Right.
I like the fact that Tess came over to the side of rebuilding M3GAN after she was faced with living in that bunker and being choked out.
Listen,
in the same day.
Tessa had enough. She's like, I'm not staying there with y'all.
Tess was 100% against rebuilding M3GAN, especially since Gemma was the first to bring in M3GAN and be like, bring in the Teletubby and be like, we're going to reboot M3GAN. Tess was like, this is the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Right.
But then Tess turned around and was like, I'm not living in this bunker. So
concrete bunker,
I guess we're rebuilding M3GAN.
M3GAN put in like fake windows so they looked like they was looking out in Italy or something. Like, girl, they can't stay down here. That's not how that works.
And I like that they lived. I like that they were in the whole movie.
They were
pretty much. Yeah.
And Cole made an interesting comment, like, whenever it's about saving the world, it's just you. But whenever you need to get out of some mess, we a team.
It's a team activity.
And I was like, dang.
It's like, she's a terrible boss.
Everybody getting at you, girl. Everybody getting at you.
I love that when she ran into Cole at the party on her mission, and she was like, I can't believe you would throw away 10 years of us working together. 1, it's a job. 2, he's not getting paid enough. And 3, he was like, I was going to tell you about it. He was like, I was going to see what the offer was and bring it to you guys.
Cole had a key card for the competitor company and everything. He was like, I was just testing a while.
I like the fact that he was like, I got a card for the lounge, not because he was like being a traitor. He was like, it's the lounge.
Right. It's got the good food in it. You ain't got us good food.
Right.
What do you expect me to live?
All right, so the last person we have is Christian Bradley.
So he plays Gemma's boy. Is he like officially her boyfriend? They was acting like it.
I'm a boyfriend.
That's the boyfriend. Of course, you got to give our main character a love interest in the sequel. He is your typical techie science guy. He's all about what Gemma is into. He wants Gemma to succeed. Katie don't like him. I actually don't think anybody cares about Christian.
He's all about the safe use of technology, and it seems like everybody finds him dry, but for some reason Gemma is very infatuated with him.
Yes, and nobody gets why.
And nobody sees anything in him.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Christian. But the actor who plays him, he's pretty good. He plays a good, smooth, suave, like, talker. And I like this character. He wasn't annoying, because sometimes you get those characters and what they'll do is they'll make the character like mean to Katie, but Gemma don't know, and then you spend a whole movie like, Gemma, wake up, he's evil. But he wasn't rude to Katie, he wasn't rude to anybody, but he just kind of played his role, and then later in the movie he played another role pretty well. Yeah, you can get where I'm going with that. Yeah, we'll get there in a minute.
I thought it was fine. He wasn't in this movie a lot.
No. He was in it a good amount of time.
Yes.
A good amount of time. Because what you want with sequels is, if the focus is the robots, we don't need a bunch of new human characters. So I'm glad that they kept it to like a few. He
ends up being essential to the group because Amelia is looking for that AI, and it's in a secret location in a black box, and he happened to be one of the people working on the team building that.
Right. And that's how he comes in. He's not really an official team member. He's more like a consultant.
So technically, he's one of the people also on Amelia's hit list, because she's going after anybody that has information.
Right. So he might as well come in to help. Right. Because he on the list.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So let's get into that's all for our characters. Anybody else you want to mention?
No, I don't think so.
Everybody else either died or...
The social worker. They kept the social worker. The social worker came back from the first
at the beginning.
And I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
They kept literally everybody that they could. Everybody that lived.
I like when they do that with
sequels. So I like the fact that the social worker came back. She was like, you're not in trouble, but I do just want to hear what I've missed.
Right. And that's where we kind of get
the recap.
The recap from Katie. So that was cool. All right, let's get into our likes and dislikes.
Likes. Let's see.
You said there was one you was trying to save. Which one was that? You said you wanted to see. There was something you was gonna say in non-spoilers, but you wanted to save it for the likes.
Oh yeah, so I'll just start with my main like.
Mm-hmm.
I love when they resurrect the bad guy
Okay.
in movies, in the sequels.
I'm trying to think of where I don't like that.
I have a number one example.
Yes.
I said that it's very Barbossa.
Oh, very good example.
It's
Very
very
good example.
Barbossa
Yeah.
when you bring back the villain who was like the worst villain from the previous movie
Now,
to
if you
turn him
don't-
around and they end up coming in clutch.
And he's like one of the best characters of
Yeah.
the movie. Now, if you
Yes.
don't know who Barbossa is, oh God,
yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. That's that
Yeah.
trilogy. Barbossa's like one of the best characters.
They
of
bring
that
back the
trilogy.
villain who you don't like, and then
Mhm.
they make them like the best member on the team of the good guys.
Yeah.
And they always end up being the better good guy, the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like Loki, but Loki's was more extended
Yeah.
out.
Mhm.
So it's okay. Yeah. You're right. I agree. I'm trying to think of an example where I don't like that, and I can't think of one.
Let's see. Movies where they resurrect the bad guy.
And he's like, good. They usually do pretty well with that, and you have to be careful.
Of course, Terminator. Duh.
Duh.
I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Oh, well, yeah, we already talked about that. Barbossa is probably the best version.
Yeah,
of that,
Barbossa
though.
is like the best one I can think of.
Okay.
Barbossa and of course the Terminator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And I guess, well, they didn't resurrect the bad guy in Predator, but
Mm-hmm.
I like movies like Alien vs. Predator where the Predator is on the side of the
Okay.
humans or something.
Okay.
Because they're very effective. Villains are very effective good guys.
Because they know, right? Like
Yeah.
they know.
They know how to fight dirty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other likes?
Let's see. I loved Katie's karate. I love the house.
The free house, the cheap house.
The fight sequences.
So I think a lot of the budget of this movie went to the fight choreo.
If it was 15 million, 10 went to the fight.
Listen, I want to know who it was by name so I can see what else they did, because when they got the fight, like when our robots got the fighting, oh, they was fighting.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like CGI throwing each other around.
Yeah, and
visual effects.
It wasn't goofy where you can tell the hits not landing. Like it looked like they
It
was
was
beating each other
good,
up.
snappy hand-to-hand combat.
Agree.
Neither one of them was really beating each other up because they were made of the same operating system, so they
Right.
were kind of like matched, but it made it
Right.
fun because they
Right.
kept like going at it. I liked it.
A+ cinema score to the fight choreo in this
Yeah.
movie. It was good.
I liked the sequences when Megan and Amelia were fighting each other. I liked the sequences when
One
it
of
was
my
just
favorites.
Amelia fighting the henchmen.
One of my favorites.
Shout out to Amelia in the silver suit. I liked her when she had the silver suit and the helmet. It's kind of Tronish.
Yes, and she had like they changed her voice up a little bit to be even more menacing. I'm like, I like this.
Yeah,
I should.
I liked
I'm not
it.
supposed to, but I like it. I like it.
The action sequences were very good.
Mm-hmm.
I love the building the new body montage.
Those are always good.
Yeah.
I love a good like stealing. What's my favorite montage? Gone in 60 Seconds. It's one of my favorite montages. It's either building a crew or building a machine or building a weapon. Not a weapon. A weapon for good.
Yeah.
All those are like my favorites. But yes, I did like that montage as well.
The scenes where they're building her and they're going through all the different ways they upgraded her, making her faster, making her stronger. They made a human hand with fingerprints.
I liked in that scene though where they made it seem like they were going to change her face, because there was like, you're the most wanted like person in the world. Like we can't bring a killer robot back. And she was like, if you change my face, I change your face.
Yeah.
And I was like, and that's how you go like, oh, okay, I see why she looks the same, because she told them like, I will kill you if you don't. And my likes echo yours: the action, the comedy, and that our core four lived.
Did you have any dislikes?
I don't think so. Only thing I disliked is the most minor nitpick. I wish they would have combed Megan wig a little bit. It looked a little ratty. I was like, why a girl can't get like an upgraded Party City wig?
Some of the wig was
I feel like the wig in the first one looked a little better than the wig in this one.
the wig between when she was a puppet and when she was CGI kept changing.
Okay,
Her
maybe
CGI wig looked flatter,
something.
but her puppet wig her regular puppet wig looked fine. Not the Nicki Minaj one when she's in the robot
Not the
suit.
bob.
Not the bob.
Not
The
the
bob
bob.
though
The
was
bob-
hilarious.
I didn't mind the bob because I knew it was coming, but her like regular everyday wig, I'm like, why we can't get the girl?
Her at the convention in that plastic suit with that bob was hilarious.
This is my favorite outfit of hers. Actually, I was like, we should keep the bob. Why should she keep it?
I I'll save some of my likes for favorite liner scene too.
Okay. Let me see. Where do we leave off? Okay, so now let's get to our ending.
All right, so the ending is what you would have guessed the ending is, which me and Cheryl guessed the ending
We
was.
was trying to tell you.
The character's very first scene in the movie. It's the boyfriend.
course.
It's very clear. It's the
As
boyfriend.
soon as he shows up, I leaned over and said, "It's him."
Horror movie 101. It is
always a new character.
It's always the love interest,
always the
and
boyfriend.
especially if the love interest is new.
And smart.
If the love interest wasn't in the previous movie
Right.
and didn't die, it's the love interest.
Either he's super smart or he's super dumb.
So
Either way, it's him.
it was very obvious to me it was a love interest because we have a killer robot who is AI, and the love interest is 100% anti-AI. I was like, oh, that's the perfect cover.
Obvious.
To be an anti-AI activist and be the one who has the AI robot going around killing all the competition. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
makes total sense.
So we get to the reveal that it's the boy. They all in the bunker, and Gemma's thinking about doing a kill switch for Megan because the way the scene is set up, it makes it seem like Megan is actually behind it.
I love that.
And there's like a little flip because we learn when we get to where it's called the black box. Is that what the chip is called? The entity? We'll call it the entity.
It's in the black box, but did they give it a name?
The entity. We call it
the
the
entity.
When when we get to where the entity is, we learn that Amelia is actually not a sentient robot.
Good twist.
She is all 100% controlled by a team of people.
And they built it up, and it made sense. So earlier, when Megan first has her encounter with her, when she's in the Teletubby body,
yeah,
Megan gets in her brain and steals something.
Yes.
And we don't know what it is. But what Megan does say is that in the middle of Amelia's brain is a black hole.
Right.
And she can't find a command structure that
Nope. It
tells her
doesn't
where
connect.
to begin.
It's like some neurons in a regular brain would like connect, but hers don't go nowhere.
And they kind of leave that open-ended. Megan kind of doesn't understand it either.
Right.
But when we get to the third act, I love the twist where, like you said, she's not autonomous. Gemma figured out that the reason there's no code in the center of her brain is because she's just a robot. Somebody's controlling her.
Right.
But I also like the fact that it could have been Megan. When they were like,
for
somebody's controlling
30
Amelia.
seconds.
Because they set it up. If it was Megan, they set it up perfectly where she played the long game. She got them to think that there was competition out there and they needed to bring her back. And
they built her a body.
And they gave her everything that she needed to get herself to where the entity was housed.
Right, so she can get it for herself. Now that's short-lived because what happens is we do our character flip and Christian actually goes, oh no, it's actually not Megan, it's me. Pew, pew, pew.
Yes.
And then he shoots Tess.
He does the Billy Loomis. Where he convinces Sydney to give him the gun, and then he turns around and shoots Randy.
That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what
And we thought Tess was a goner, and then he says a line later, like, we'll think she'll be okay. I'm like, Tess.
As soon as she did it, I was
black
like,
girl gotta
why
go.
would you give him the kill switch? Why does he need it?
Right. Exactly. He's just a scientist. What does he need it for? He's not the boss of you.
And you own Megan. So why does he only have your kill switch? For the doll that you own.
Right. So as soon as she turns it over, he does a pew pew, reveals that he's behind the whole thing. He created Amelia, sold it via underground market to the government. She was a Trojan horse. She killed everybody that was involved with the government. And basically his plan is to control AI by using Amelia to get rid of bad AI.
So what he wants to
Something like
do,
that.
he's basically using Amelia as a scare tactic.
Yes.
He's convinced everybody that Amelia is AI and she's running around killing people. And this is what happens when you have AI to go around killing people, but it's really him. So the threat is artificial.
Correct. There's a movie that is just like that, but I cannot think of the name of it, but you've probably seen it before. Yeah. So we don't get anything. The twist makes it interesting, but at the end of the day, it's a bad guy who's doing a bad thing, and he's been a whole ruse the whole time.
We got exactly what we thought we were going to get. I didn't think that that's how we were going to get there.
Okay, fair enough.
I knew it was going to be him. I just wasn't sure how, but I like that, how they pulled it off.
Right. And for like 30 seconds, we was like, maybe we was wrong. And then immediately we was like, nope, we was right.
It could have been Megan, and that would have made it in a completely different type of movie, but I would have been interested to see that third act.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Megan would have really had to go again.
Yeah. I was like, we're right back where we started.
Dang it,
And
Gemma.
it worked. That means nobody learned anything.
And it's all Gemma's fault.
Again.
Right. So our ending is basically a battle between Gemma and Amelia for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amelia fights some guards for a second, because what happens is Katie was like, oh, I can flip Amelia if I just sync her to me. Like, y'all sync Megan to me, and Amelia will just follow my commands.
Because they realized that Gemma is version 1 Megan from the first movie.
Gemma is version...
I mean, not Gemma, Amelia.
Yes.
Amelia is version 1 Megan from the first movie.
Right.
Before she went murderous. So they can start from scratch with Amelia.
We can just do it. So they like try to reboot Amelia. Katie goes to sync with her, and for like 30 seconds, Amelia's like, oh, Katie, I'm here to protect you, whatever. And then the guards come in, shock her to death, and then it like flips a switch in her robot brain. And then she becomes T2.
Unlocks her autonomy.
Right. Then she becomes T2. She started killing everybody. So our final battle is between Megan and Amelia. And it comes down to a pretty good fight scene, by the way. But Megan looks like trash at this point because she'd have been through a lot.
Yeah,
you gotta
she got her bad wig on.
She got a bad, and her face jacked up, her jaw like...
First of all,
fake teeth
that
like
wasn't even
falling
the
out.
same wig. That wig, it wasn't even cut the same way.
It's a different Party
It
City
was a
wig.
different wig.
It's
It's
like
like
the wig
they
I
beat
got
her
on.
up and then switched her wig.
Yeah. Because they drug her in, and I was like, oh, that's not Megan. They lifted her. I was like, oh, that is Megan.
First of all, it is a wig. It's not, you're not, first of all, they did not build Megan with human hair. That is synthetic.
The wig would have came off at any
And
moment.
there's no way it curled up like that just because they beat her up.
No, they dragged her in like a human, and I was like, "Oh, who is this? Who is this person?"
She looked like Olivia Pope when she was like in captivity for those 2 episodes.
I was so confused, and then she lifted her head. I was like, "Oh snap, it's Megan!" Why did she look like a human?
It makes sense.
It didn't. We rolling with it, right? So Megan's fighting Amelia at the end, and in order to like sacrifice or end Amelia, because Amelia actually gets hold of the entity, becomes super powerful, but you know you got to shut her down. So Megan ends up sacrificing herself using the EMP that Gemma put in Megan to shut her down secretly, but we find out it's all good. Everybody's good together,
Right?
And kills Amelia. So at the end of the movie, we think that Amelia is now gone, which she is. We think Megan is gone with her because she sacrificed herself. But surprise, surprise, Megan has made a copy of herself, and she pops back up on Gemma's window screen as the pencil in the old version of Word, Microsoft Word.
Smart. I always wonder when they have movies where the AI goes rogue and then they end the movie by defeating the AI. And I'm like, if I was a robot, I would make a backup of myself.
Megan literally says, you didn't think I didn't make a copy, did you?
Because even as a human, the first thing they tell you when you use computers is to back your stuff up. So why would an AI not make a backup of themselves?
Do you know how many copies Megan's probably made of herself?
Yeah, she's got probably a stash in every computer on the planet.
She
I
built
would.
a bunker underneath a house and convinced you to get into the house and been watching you for 2 years.
Yeah, and she was ready to sacrifice herself too easily, which means there were no stakes for her. Right. She didn't care.
She played like she did, though.
She did.
She acted like she wasn't going to pop back up. So she pops back up at Gemma's computer, and then everybody's all happy again because Katie's, of course, happy that Megan lived. Gemma's happy that Megan lived. No, so it doesn't end on a cliffhanger per se, but they could definitely have another one after this from some other new thread that Gemma created.
Yeah, because they already set the precedent that, like Megan said, after Gemma made her in the first one, and even though it was a national disaster or whatever,
right?
She said it just made people want more.
Exactly.
So it doesn't make any sense why Amelia would stop the government from trying to continue doing this.
And there's like an anti-AI message in here, buried in here somewhere, but you don't really care about that.
You know what? They should just go full Terminator with the third one and just have like a robot from the future come back. Sure. And they have to use Megan to stop it.
I'll watch it.
Why not?
Watch it. Just get her a new wig.
Yeah.
All I ask, just bring the bob back.
Yeah.
The bob was cute.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked crazy, but it was cute.
And every time she's older.
Maybe.
Yeah.
She just they changed her face just a little bit to where you realize that now Megan's aging with Katie. That would be funny.
Or maybe like Megan's like her secret cover is that she's like Gemma's secret adopted daughter or something. That's how they keep her around.
Right. That would be hilarious.
Perfect.
So that is the ending, like, is how you think. But it plays out in a pretty cool way.
Yeah.
I will say that. And the fight sequence at the end was also pretty good.
And I'm glad that Megan didn't die. This isn't a character. I mean, Megan's not a character that you want to kill off. I feel like she's something.
I actually like Amelia for that split second that she was like under control. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're going to let her live. No, she's dead. She's gone. I liked her though.
Yeah, but she's also just a robot, so they can bring Amelia back too. They're all robots.
She is just a robot.
And she's M3GAN.
Right.
Technically.
She is 1.0. Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our favorite line or scene.
Favorite line or scene? I had a lot of lines that I liked.
Okay, hit it.
I liked when M3GAN told M3GAN is spinning the whole movie. M3GAN doesn't need help. All she needed was a body and a guy in a chair.
Yeah, essentially.
Because she's kind of her own guy in a chair.
Because she's AI.
But they send her on a mission to the convention, and Jibba is being a micromanager. And M3GAN tells Jibba, your primary objective is to watch Katie and put money in the meter. I thought that was hilarious.
It was funny to imply that it was parked at a meter. That's what just made it hilarious. Like they're just on a street, on a van, parked at a meter.
I love that she told Jibba that she was mildly attractive, and she could use that to convince the other AI guy to help her out.
Yep, that was funny.
A lot of her, I love that when, so some of the scenes in the trailer, they don't play out the same in the movie, but the dialogue is kind of the same. So the scene with the projectors when M3GAN first reveals herself, she tells Jimmy that she was just upset.
Yes,
when she
that
was
plays out
differently.
differently.
And I love the scene where M3GAN and Jimmy have the heart-to-heart. And M3GAN's kind of telling Jimmy, like, I'm not taking any more of your crap because you're mad at me for the way you for doing exactly what you programmed me to do.
M3GAN stood up for herself.
So you need to figure out what your issue is.
Right. Now, what Jay is not saying is what happened immediately afterwards.
Oh,
in that conversation.
You can go ahead.
Which is probably my favorite line or scene because M3GAN starts breaking out into song. And if it don't take very long for you to realize that she's singing Maxwell. A woman's worth.
So the first movie she's doing Titanium by Sia, and this time she's singing A Woman's Worth to Jibba.
Because she just starts with the I'm not even going to attempt to sing it, but
the falsetto.
Yeah.
You know, it's unrecognizable.
And you're just like,
it's recognizable.
It's about to start singing. And then Jimmy actually tells her to stop, and she just keeps going. And she goes to the chorus. And she sings for a good minute. And you're like, the M3GAN is insane.
A Woman's Worth is a classic. A Woman's Work is a classic. And you know when it started.
As soon as M3GAN started, I was like,
I know. You're like, immediately.
I know that's not what I think it is.
Especially since you don't hear it often.
No, like I don't randomly play that song. Ever.
Yeah.
So that was probably my favorite scene because I was like, it was very unexpected.
And I love that they kept it. People love that part in the first movie when she broke into that random song and sung the whole thing.
All right. You're like, is she okay? Oh, she's for real.
And I love that Jim was like, please don't take it to the chorus. And
she takes it to the chorus.
She even hit the notes even harder.
Yeah. She got louder.
She wouldn't let Jimmy walk away and leave. No. she made her sit there and listen to the whole song. It was great.
It was good. That was my favorite scene.
Do you have any random notes?
My 2 random notes is she's still crazy though. Yeah. So that was M3GAN. Like, even though she has her character arc and her turn, she's still crazy. And Jimmy still need to keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
About it. Because she's still very serious about Katie. We didn't remove that code in her. So they might want to watch out for that. And then the other one I had was, of course, she made it back up at the ending. I was like, of course.
Yeah, of course. Of course she made it. Why? There's self-preservation. She didn't die in the first movie, so there's no way she was going to let herself die this time.
M3GAN's still about protecting herself.
Exactly. Self-preservation, absolutely. And first Katie, second self-preservation.
Exactly.
Random notes that I have. Oh, yeah. So the opening is with Amelia.
Yes.
Somewhere. Doing a secret mission that the FBI has sent her on.
Some border or somewhere.
We see her captors think she's a woman, think she's a tourist, and they shoot her in the back of the head. I thought it was weird that after they shot her in the back of the head, drug her body off to the next room, they didn't realize she wasn't bleeding.
No blood.
No blood.
Zero.
You had a bag over her head.
Right.
No blood.
My thing was also like,
was it a throw and throw?
If you shoot a robot in the back of the head, something should flicker.
Yeah.
Make a noise.
Like, you have any questions?
Shut down.
Yeah.
Also, ain't she like super heavy?
Right.
She a robot.
When you dropped the shit and clang?
Clink, clink, clink. Nothing.
Those are the worst bad guys ever.
Yeah, they were terrible.
I love that they kept the social worker.
Yeah.
Note number 4 is literally, it's the boyfriend.
I'm telling you. The second that man shows up on the scene, you it's him.
Immediately.
It's him. Yeah. He even has like a look of like, you guilty. Yeah. Like, whatever you say, I don't believe you.
You're the bad guy is AI. You're the anti-AI guy. And one of the very first things he says is that he has a presentation in the UN to limit AI or something. I'm like, yeah, it's you.
Guilty.
Why else would this AI robot be out here killing people?
On his forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that that's probably why nobody liked him, because they just couldn't put their finger on what was wrong with him. He's a psychopath.
Right. He was dead. Because we didn't talk about this. He was going to plant a neural link in Gemma so that he can control her so they can like be together and was going to do the same to Katie. He was
a nasty psychopath.
Oh my God. I was like, he just had no qualms about it.
Gross.
Crazy. He died at the end. I don't know if we said that, but he definitely gets it.
I liked the the Dr. Octopus implant that the guy put in the back of his head.
Oh, you liked it?
Because it was...
how it played out?
Alton Appleton.
Yeah.
Yeah, how it played out. Because his idea, he is disabled. He's confined to a wheelchair, but he's using technology, specifically putting AI implants into people's bodies as his patent to assist them with mobility so that he can walk again and move again.
Right.
Like he's not disabled.
Right. But
Gemma has a great point when she's like, if you put AI in your body, it's not gonna ride shotgun.
That was a good line.
And I love the fact that his idea was to put this implant on the back of his spine as if he hasn't seen Spider-Man.
we all know how
this goes.
You are literally about to be Doc Ock.
Yes.
And it's not pleasant.
Doc Ock was not in control of his body, it was the arms.
Right. And when the arms ready to take you out, it's over.
I love the fact that he had that implant. It was like, everybody's going to want to put this on the back of their neck.
Right.
It's like, because nobody's seen Spider-Man.
I know Spider-Man movies is in this universe. You can't convince me.
And that's one of the ones everybody likes.
Right.
So,
right.
I love movies we have to resurrect the bad guy. Oh, Ghost Rider theme.
Oh, yeah.
They have to steal a smart car. And they play the Ghost Rider theme, which is usually my job. Whenever they have to steal
the only thing about this thing, I wish they would have played it a little longer. I feel like they cut it abruptly, and I was like, dang, I was enjoying this.
But it's so on theme because Ghost Rider was an AI car.
Yeah.
So it just made sense.
The placement of that mic drop was pretty good.
That was a great joke. I knew M3GAN orchestrated the house. What I thought was Gemma knew. I thought the movie was going to start out where Gemma always knew that M3GAN was never gone. She had been secretly keeping M3GAN, and that's how she was financing their lives. Because she was secretly using M3GAN in the background and not telling anybody about it. And that's why M3GAN was pissed, because she was like, you've been keeping me in the dark from everybody.
Okay.
But the twist was that Gemma also was not in on the house either.
M3GAN was working. Okay.
So I knew M3GAN was involved in the home once it was asked the second time. And that was this note is
because you did just like that, she in the house somewhere, and I was like, where?
This note is far down my list. I think this is after Christian asked her about the house.
Yeah,
that was the second time somebody asked her about the house, and she was just like, I don't know. And I was like, that answer was kind of shifty.
The FBI also asked her.
That was the third time.
Why do we keep asking about the house? And she can't really explain like why the house so cheap.
So Alton mentioned it. I think either Cole or Tess mentioned it. Then Christian mentioned it. And then the FBI dude mentioned it. And then after that, I was like, M3GAN did this.
The reveal was just like, because you go to this bunker and it's got like different catacombs in it. She done set up Katie's room. I mean, she spending 40 hours a week, full-time job, setting this bunker up.
They didn't even know they had a bunker because M3GAN opened a secret panel on the wall.
And everybody looking at it like,
right.
What is going on? And they need to escape, so they go into the bunker, and once they in, she got like, welcome guys, and they're like, no ma'am.
I thought M3GAN's bunker Igor body was wild.
Jump scare.
It was a jump scare.
Hilarious though.
I loved after her and Katie had her heart-to-heart in her scary body, and Katie comes out of her room and M3GAN follows her, and the rest of them just looking like, what is that?
The best part of that whole scene was the fact that the rest of our people that we were in the theater with,
cracking up.
We all cracking up at the same time.
You couldn't look at her and keep a straight face. She looked a mess.
No. And that's why movies are good to go to the theater and see, because you have audience reaction. Y'all have the same reaction. It's the best. Because we was in there cracking up.
I thought that, the Christian took a nasty turn because he basically wanted to lobotomize Gemma and Katie just so that he could be with them and control them.
Like a fake family.
And live their lives together, I guess. Like gross, creepy.
Knock his head off.
And my last random note was that, I like that Katie had Gemma's toys from the first movie in her room.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
In the first movie, when Gemma had that shelf of toys that were still in their boxes, and she wouldn't let Katie open them up and play with them.
Okay.
Katie had the toys in her room, still in their boxes, on her shelf behind a picture with her mom.
Okay.
I thought that was cool.
I like that.
Did I have any others? Nice house, but not as nice as the Black Bag house. And I think we already touched on the fact that the fights were really good.
Yes.
Movies can take notes from the fight sequences in this.
Listen, the budget. They
did a spinny camera thing where like They were. It was in the third act, and like
Yeah.
Megan flipped over, but the whole camera rotated too.
And did one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Good job.
A+ cinema
Yeah.
score
Yeah.
to the fight core, y'all, and the editing team.
All right. Did you have any other notes?
Nope, that was it. What is our rating? You go first.
I'm gonna judge this like a standalone sequel, the same way I
Okay.
judge like a T2 or Aliens 2.
All right.
Or not a Predators 2. Predators 2 wasn't that great.
Oh.
But
They all don't hit, right?
no. But I'm gonna give this a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Good enough.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'll take away from it that I feel like it still could have maintained its scares and been equally as funny. We've seen scary
Agree.
movies maintain their fun
Yeah.
and comedy.
I agree.
But it couldn't because she's not a villain. But they could have given more scary villain stuff to Amelia.
Agree.
Maybe if she had killed more people, or if they had like made more people. I feel like when they were like, "Oh, Amelia's working backwards from her creation," she only like hit like 2 people before she immediately flipped to searching for the entity. But I mean, it really wasn't Amelia, so I guess. But
it would have had to make the movie longer.
maybe if there were more
probably.
people involved in the creation, working their way down the chain, it could have given her more opportunities to do like scary kills or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take 1 off half because I agree with you. It could have been. They could have kept a little scare factor in there because y'all, it ain't no bit of scary horror in this. And then I also would have liked more of Amelia, like quite a bit more.
Yeah.
So if we gonna have this be about Megan fighting off a new robot, then I want to see more of the new robot.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, 4 is still good.
They still got the follow-up coming. James Wan just talked about it. Soulmate, which is supposed to be based
That's
in
supposed
the
to be
world.
more horror, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be based in the same world,
Right.
but they've taken the blueprints and they are using it to create AI companions.
Right.
The schematics for Megan are still out there. Like we said, the companies are still going to try to do it. So there's absolutely an opportunity to do a third one.
Interesting. I bet you that one's gonna be rated R though.
Yeah, he said it's going to be R-rated and it's going to be horror based. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll probably check that one out.
Yeah. So maybe more Megan spinoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see if Blumhouse still gonna pay. They gonna need to get them box office numbers up.
Yeah, they're going to have to make more money.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. All right, so that is our review for M3GAN 2.0. We both liked it.
Yeah,
Check it out. If
it's
you
a
like
good time.
if you didn't see the first one, I guess you don't have to see. You don't have to see the first one to see this one.
No, they do a pretty good recap.
Yeah, but this one's funny. Like, it's not scary. It's all about fun, action, sci-fi. Like, if you like those things and you don't mind a little goofiness, a little sass, this the movie for you.
Yeah.
I think you would like it.
Yeah.
All right. Any other lasting thoughts?
No, go see it. If you have seen it, tell us your thoughts.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, tell us why.
Go see it and then tell us why.
And if you like this one more than the first one, tell us why too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree.
Absolutely.
All right. So what are we watching next week?
Next week, we are not watching anything. I'm watching Lilu.
So next week, we will have a best of 100 episodes. So we're basically going to compile all our favorite bits from our episodes and put them together. And it'll be a nice little recap for you to kind of walk down memory lane of our podcast. But never fear, we will be having a combo super Jurassic, because it won't be Fantastic Four. We're going to do a review of Jurassic World Rebirth and Superman together.
Double feature.
So that won't be next episode, but that'll be episode after that. So episode 102 will be our double review.
I need our Cinemark to get the Fantastic Four buckets.
They don't have Fantastic Four buckets or Superman buckets.
No.
But
They had Jurassic Park bucket, but I don't want one.
Yeah, they're just the basic little tins. But we are actually going to see Jurassic Park this coming Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we have gonna see the movie by the time it come out. Don't you worry.
We won't be behind.
We won't. Right.
Right.
We seeing the movies. Just
right.
My vacation kind of throwing things off the rim. But check out our compilation episode. It'll be funny. I feel like it's all the best bits of our podcast.
It's gonna be fun.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all we got. Thanks for listening. If you like our show, please share it. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on our website, vaguelynerdypodcast.com, where you can also leave us a voice message and we'll play it on the show if it's nice.
If it's not nice, I'm going to find you.
You can follow us on Threads and IG at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, Blue Sky and Twitter at Vaguely Nerdy Pod. You can reach us at vaguelynerdypodcast@gmail.com for email. If you're listening to us on a podcast app, you can watch our animated podcast format on YouTube at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast.
And if you want to give us a monetary donation, which will go to our hosting fees, you can find us on Ko-fi at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast.
Until next time.
Bye.